I feel like you're unbannable on OnlyFans. It's like they need you right now.
By the time I'd post the videos, December I'd hit 40,000.
40,000?
Yeah.
And do you speak to this person?
Yeah. Let's get Bonnie Blue banned from Australia.
Right, so you've used that word, not me.
Which word? Prostitute?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the increment in money?
Yeah, I started to hit over $1 million.
Do you think you're in a position to start your own OnlyFans and just not give them the 20%?
My mum has cleaned up after a gangbang
Oh
before.
no.
Yeah. I'm doing Bonnie Blue's petting zoo in June.
What's a petting zoo?
I am going to be tied up in a glass box. The public can come and use me in multiple ways.
So are you at that thing now? You can just buy things, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Is your sister on OnlyFans?
I have regular STD tests. I got married when I was 20. I follow just all these fat people that like to eat food, and I'm like, that's what I'll enjoy and scroll on. I'm not on the whole sex worker side of TikTok. This is the Shizzio show. I'm Bonnie Blue, and if your daddy is missing today, seeing as it's Father's Day, he's probably at my glass box event. I hope you enjoy hearing all about my 1,057 men that I've taken.
Shizzio bringing it back with the noise. Hoi oi, hoi oi, special MC, I'm back with the joy. Hoi oi, hoi oi, Shizzio bringing it back with the noise. And you bring me love, and you bring me joy. Hoi oi.
Yeah, can we do this? No apologies, think I'm gonna be a nuisance. Way back then was a dead up. Okay, we are back, another episode. Love to everybody that's watching and subscribing. Do you know how many people watch and don't press the subscribe button?
I don't know, tell me, how many?
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I don't know why, because it's fucking free. It's not like you got to pay for it. It's not like it's an OnlyFans subscription, for God's sake. Anyway.
Hey, one of mine's free.
Is it?
Yeah.
One of yours? How many you got?
3.
Oh my God, right, I can't. Right, anyway, special guest in the building today, fresh out of jail. We sent the man them in and got over the wall, okay? Unless you've been living under a rock, yeah, you will know this name. And even if you did live under a rock, when you came out for air or water, you will understand who this person is. Bonnie Blue is in the building.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Thank you so much. It's very nice of you to appear. We have been talking, I would say, before your massive explosion.
Yeah.
Right. So I would first like to say thank you, because you still kind of kept in touch, which is nice. Some people, they're so big, they're going so many
platforms. You get a bit
platforms.
cocky.
Ego or big,
yeah,
like I've seen it in music and stuff like that, and I understand it. But you've kept grounded with me.
Yeah.
Don't know why. Thank you very much. How are you, firstly?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Busy.
Are you well?
I'm well.
Always busy.
Always busy. You got to stay busy.
Yeah, true.
You got to stay busy. You got to stay relevant.
True. We like to kind of take it back in this show just to try and get a whole picture. I know you've done 1,000 podcasts, and apologies in advance. Questions you probably answered, but I don't know necessarily everything, so I haven't watched all of those type of things.
You've not watched every single one of my videos?
I've not actually seen any of them, to be honest.
Rude. Just the ones you ever wanked to.
Anyway, so let's go to start. Born and raised where?
Nottingham.
Okay, Nottingham. Can you explain Nottingham for anybody that is not from there, i.e. myself?
It's an okay place, to be honest. It's not as busy as London. It's quite chilled, laid back. You sort of know everyone. It's quite a small town, I guess, that I lived in.
Okay. Are you in the town centre then, or just kind of on the outskirts?
No, on the outskirts.
Okay.
So not countryside, but definitely not big city.
Give me 3 words to describe Nottingham for those that don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Look, she struggled already, mate.
I mean, it's not the nickname Shottingham. I wouldn't say it's very classy.
Okay.
Well, clearly.
It's like that. Is it Shottingham, really?
I mean, the girls are hot there. I went on a night out the other week and I was like, wow, the girls here are hot. So it's doing something right.
Can you even go on a night out now?
With security, yeah.
Really? Do you find it really difficult? Is it too much? Do you know what I mean?
It's not difficult, but I'm visiting Nottingham again this weekend, and my friends were like, let's just go on a night out, let's have some girls' time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm gonna have to bring security. I can't have just a quiet night out. I can't just spontaneously go and see my friends.
And then when you're out, how many kind of guys do you have around you, the security-wise?
Just a queue instantly forms.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, very British. But yeah, wherever I go, just queues tend to
But how
form.
many security do you need? That's what I'm trying
security,
to get.
sort of it depends, sort of 2 at least.
So it's an expensive night out, babe. be like, before you've even bought a drink, you're paying for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, the security have never ever had to step in. I had some security in Mexico, and they was a bit too, like, when people would come up to me or grab me, they'd be instant, like, no, hands off. I'm like, no, let them grab me, I don't mind. Like, they can slap my ass and, you know, pull my hair a little bit. Like, I don't mind people
You
touching
say a
me.
little bit, where's the line of, like, hold on?
Obviously, if you're in the bedroom, pull me, mess me around as much as possible. If I'm just walking down the street, you know, just keep it reasonable.
Have you got a code word for them, for like the security to jump in, say, listen?
No, I think they'd be able to tell. If I was struggling, I was like, okay, this is a bit much, they'd be able to tell when to step in.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so Nottingham, not much to do.
No, you got a few nice walks. The town's okay. Good university.
Do you have? Oh, that's the athletic one, isn't it? What's it called? Loughborough? No, is that near there somewhere else?
I don't know. I mean, I never made it myself, so.
Oh, I fucked that one up. Okay, so have you got brothers and sisters?
I've got a younger sister.
Okay, so when you're kind of growing up, are you outside a lot, or is it you very much inside?
What, my family?
Yeah, like are you outside playing a lot, or is your family like?
Oh, yeah, I used to be on the street a fair bit.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
taking part in the Shottingham Olympics.
Not quite the Shottingham Olympics, but what was it called? Like Kirby or something? That game where you throw the ball, hit
Where
the
you
curb.
throw the ball, yeah.
Yeah.
Kirby, yeah.
It was just your typical street play.
Yeah. Are you getting in trouble a lot?
I wasn't naughty in terms of rude, but I'd miss homework, I'd be a little bit late for class. Like,
Yeah.
it was just cheeky.
And are you kind of studying
Oh, I'm always studying. No, I didn't study.
at all?
I did, obviously, GCSEs, and that was it.
Yeah. Is there anything you wanted to be when you kind of grew up? Or
I used to want to be a midwife.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Just
I don't know, I just used to really like the idea of being a midwife. And then
Yeah.
I watched, there was an episode, well, a channel called One Born Every Minute.
oh yeah, I remember that.
I watched it and I was like, wow, these women are irritating me. I can't be a midwife. So I gave up on that and dropped out of sixth form.
Why was it the screaming and all that?
Like this screaming, then they'd be like, that's it, I'm not pushing anymore. And so one of the questions from the women was, oh, I've not had sex since getting pregnant, so has my hole healed up? And I was like, if that was me as a midwife in that room right now, I'd be like, you are so stupid. And that's not really the right response to give them.
Right, fair enough. So you're not really studying then?
No.
Just want to be a midwife, nothing else?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So then how does this happen then? What's the turning factor of?
I went straight into recruitment. So I dropped out of sixth form,
Right,
went into recruitment for 5 years. Good job, like well paid.
where's that, in Nottingham?
In Nottingham,
Yeah.
yeah. Well paid job, well, good and like, when I say well paid, it was like 25k plus salary. So when I was like 19, 20, that was a good wage.
It's not bad,
Mm-hmm.
not bad. It's not enough though, is it?
No.
Okay, cool. What is the recruitment in? What kind of sector are you in?
I did finance recruitment.
What is that for people? Is that just,
So anything from like finance assistants to finance directors. So it was quite a serious job.
yeah. Didn't enjoy it?
It was okay. I thought this is as good as life can get. This is, you know, I'm in a good job. Everyone thinks I'm very well respected. This is as good as it can get.
Right. But it's not as good as it can get, is it?
No, it's just boring. Like,
Yeah.
if you'd have said to me when I was in my office job, what are you doing 2 years from now? I'd have been like, I'm going to be sat in this exact same desk. I'm going to be working 8 till 6. I'll probably go to Tesco and get a meal deal on my lunch break.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hate the fact I can know exactly what I'm going to be doing 2 years from now. There's nothing spontaneous about it. There's yeah, you can have ambitions in terms of, oh, I want to be a manager. I want to have a salary increase. But I was like, apart from that, I'm doing one holiday a year, and it is so boring and repetitive. Like, especially once you've gone on that holiday, you're on countdown for your next holiday, and you've got to wait another year, and it's
Yeah.
just like, is this all I'm working for?
You're just living for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Boyfriend at the time?
Yes.
Okay. Is that from school or?
I met him New Year's Eve on like a New Year's Eve party. I got with him when I was 14.
Okay, young.
Yeah.
And how long are you with him for?
I was with him 10 years.
Oh shit. Oh shit. She done a bird. Okay.
Yeah.
You do a bird. All right, cool. So then I guess I've got to ask the question, what is the turning factor then? Okay, you think life is just what it is. It's repetitive, Groundhog Day, etc., etc. So then where do you get this idea from that things need to change?
I thought you couldn't make that 80% of your life any better. So mine was going to work Monday to Friday. I was like, there's nothing I can do. This is just the job I've got to do, and it pays my bills. I was like, I want to make that 20%, that Saturday and Sunday as good as it can be. So I relocated to Australia. I was like, at least then I can go to work Monday to Friday. That would be shit, but it's just written off and it is for everybody. And then Saturday and Sunday I can go to the beach, I can be in the sunshine, do all the things that I really enjoy. Then when I relocated.
So hold on, you want to go to Australia.
So I relocated to Australia.
Right. You tell your family, obviously, I'm moving to Australia. Everyone's cool with that? His boyfriend cool with that?
Yeah.
He's happy to go with you?
Yeah, he went with me.
And the idea is I just want a better life. I just want a better weekend.
Basically, I want a better weekend. I didn't think it was really possible to change that Monday to Friday. So yeah, I relocated to Australia, took 2 years off.
Yeah.
And then when it came to me going back to work, going back into recruitment.
Sorry, you go to Australia and you don't work there?
No, I took 2 years off.
Okay, so how are you funding that? Is that just money you've saved?
Savings, yeah, because a lot of people do like a gap year or they travel. I never did any of that. I went straight from the age of 16 and 5 years of recruitment. Yeah. And I earned good money from like a young age. So I managed to save a good amount. Took 2 years off. And then towards the end of that 2 years, I was like, I need to go back into recruitment. And that's when I realised, like, I'm going to hate it. I don't want to do it. And everyone was saying to me, oh, you've just lived the best 2 years of your life. And I was like, shit.
What is Australia like for those that have never been? I just see spiders and shit.
You don't see as many as you think.
Really?
Yeah, it's
I see
beautiful.
kangaroos looking like men, like big.
Oh yeah, they are quite big.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Lovely beaches.
Right.
Just very outdoorsy.
Yeah.
It feels quite old school.
Right.
It feels like it's quite back in time.
Right.
Everyone's so chilled, laid back. People walk around without shoes on. It's a really nice atmosphere.
Okay, once there's a fly that's really annoying me, can we just open the door so it just hopefully just fucks off and just doesn't bother my life? How's the lighting? All right. Yeah. All good. Okay. Would you recommend someone to go Australia?
Yes.
One thing I want to know is how do you manage a 24-hour flight? Because I couldn't handle it.
It's not as bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, no.
I mean, you have to stop off. You can't do the flight in one go anyway. So you switch at like LA or Dubai.
Right.
But like the longer haul flights.
LA's the other way, isn't it?
No, I've switched.
Oh, right.
I mean, well, it's the other side of the world, so whichever way you go, it's the same. I keep saying this to my grandma, longer haul flights are so much better than like your 4 or 5 hour flights.
Yeah. So what made you come home then?
I got kicked out.
Why?
So I came back to the UK to do freshers and I was promoting that I was going back to Australia to sleep with loads of schoolies. Schoolies is the same as what we have in the UK. Freshers, they call it schoolies over there. I was doing TikToks to say, hey boys, I'm going to be back in Australia soon. Can't wait to sleep with loads of 18-year-olds, take loads of virginities. Long story short, a petition started saying, let's get Bonnie Blue banned from Australia.
Right.
She's sleeping with underage boys, they're not consenting, and they're under the influence. I dismissed this petition because that is false.
Yeah.
It's not true information. So I was under the belief you can't get banned from a country from false allegations.
Yeah.
That's not true. You can get banned for not having broken the law.
Really?
So they went straight onto TV, they reached out to the press, and they revoked my visa.
So you're doing the OF stuff then in kind of Australia?
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the turning point of doing it? Do you know what I mean? Did you start it in Australia?
Yeah, started in Australia.
Okay, what was the reason then?
It just went after I had my 2 years off and needed to stop work again. I was like, I just don't want to go and sit back in an office. I want freedom, I want flexibility, I want to be in control.
Yeah.
And OnlyFans was a way out of me working in an office.
How did you first hear about it?
Through TikTok. I mean, I knew about OnlyFans, but I started to see a lot more people speaking about it on TikTok.
Right. And then the conversation with your boyfriend then?
He gave me the confidence to do it.
What do you mean?
He had like seen me and heard me watching these TikToks about girls doing OnlyFans and camming. And he was like, yeah, I think you should do it. You'd be brilliant at it. You're beautiful and I think you're doing good money.
So looking back, if you turned around and said, I don't want you to do it, would you have done it?
Probably not at the start, no. He gave me the confidence. If it wasn't for him, I never would have had the confidence to do it.
That's interesting. So did he kind of, I think grooming is the wrong word, but
yeah, grooming's the wrong word.
But he pushed you to kind of do it?
He didn't push me, he gave me the confidence.
So he's the one that made Frankenstein's monster?
I mean, if you want to say it like that, but I never felt pretty enough. I was like, people won't want to subscribe to me or they won't want to watch me. Whereas he was like, look, you're stunning, you're beautiful. I think people would really enjoy speaking to you online. I think they'd enjoy watching your videos. So he gave me the confidence from that sense. And he'd seen before how unhappy I was, sitting in rush hour, sitting in an office, and working this repetitive life all the time.
Yeah.
And he was like, give it a go. If it makes you happy, do it. And if it doesn't, you don't need to do it. So it wasn't forced. I didn't need to do it. He didn't tell me, look, do it for money. It was that he wanted me to be happy and get that freedom.
So when you have that conversation with your boyfriend, who kind of brings it up? He brings it up first, or do you say, "Oh, I'm looking at this kind of stuff. This is what I'm thinking of doing"?
The whole time it was just like a joint conversation. It wasn't a, "Hey, sit down, I want to talk to you about something."
Yeah.
He, from the start, knew it was something I was thinking about, and he was like, "Yeah, just go for it."
And I'm presuming your funds are getting low then in Australia.
Yeah, both of us knew we had to go back to work at this point. Like, we didn't want to keep burning through savings. We had to go back to work.
And is the plan to stay in Australia or come back to the UK?
I took my pets there. It was like a permanent move.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So you have the conversation and he says, go on camming, okay? And I presume, is camming just being naked in front of a camera then?
You can do whatever you want. You could just speak to them. You don't have to show your face. You don't have to get naked. But when I did it, I got naked and did like dildo play.
First time?
First time.
So how was that for you kind of turning that corner? Do you know what I mean?
I was so nervous.
Right.
Never done it before, never really watched porn, didn't know what to expect. And I was expecting the person on the opposite, end of the camera to be a weirdo. I was like, they're just gonna be some guy that can't get laid and they're lonely and just, I just didn't think I'd have anything in common with them. I thought the conversation's not gonna flow. I'm not gonna know how to speak to this person. Surprisingly, so normal. And that was the biggest, I guess, shock to me when I first started sex work.
And this is camming, it's not OnlyFans?
Camming, yeah.
Right. And you're speaking to people straight away. And are there people on straight away on your first go, like they're just there?
So you go on like, as if you're scrolling and you've got everyone's profile pictures, you click on them and you click on whichever model you like the look of and you get 5 minutes free to speak to that person, see if they interest you, see if you find them attractive.
Right.
And then you can choose to take them into a private room where you start paying like either 50p a minute or £2 a minute.
Right.
Or you can take them into a group where multiple men at the same time you go on like a group call.
So your first one is just one person you're speaking to? You're just kind of breaking the ice kind of thing?
Yeah, very quickly they want you to be naked and, fucking yourself with a dildo.
Right.
Because they're paying per minute. And a lot of the time on camming, they're not big spenders.
Okay.
So they're wanting you to get naked, fuck yourself with the dildo, make them come in a very, I guess, short amount of time.
Disclaimer, by the way, adult content. Okay, but then the first time doing it, you're just comfortable doing it. Like I'm trying to ascertain how you got that mindset to this is what I'm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was nervous. I was.
Right.
But it's like anything. If you went into a call centre job and you had to take your first call, you're going to be nervous.
It's a different type of nervous, though, isn't it? It's not like
really.
A
It was the same. It was like first day on the job nerves. I was nervous. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to use the system. I was like, I don't know how to speak to this person.
But then the comfortability of being naked in front of someone, had you already?
I'd never done it before, so I didn't know. I wasn't one to take naked photos or videos. Like I'd never done that. So.
But in your mind, you knew that you was prepared to do it. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I knew I was mentally prepared to do it.
Right.
I didn't know how I'd feel. I didn't know if I was going to do it and go, this isn't for me, I don't like it.
Right.
But I found it so easy and normal. I didn't find it weird. I didn't think, I feel uncomfortable. I was like, this person is normal and I'm enjoying speaking to them and I don't have an issue getting naked on camera. Okay,
so then is the first day a success in your eyes then?
Yeah.
Do you earn a lot of money the first time? Or is it
it was like £100.
Okay.
I was only on for a few hours and I was like, wow, I am in control, because if I wanted to do 12 hours on camming that day, I could have probably earned like £1,000 to £1,500.
Right, and then you just go back at it then? Is that a case of, right, I like this, you talk to your boyfriend and say, right, this is all right, I made £100, he's cool with it, he's completely cool with it.
Completely cool with that.
Are you in love with him at that time? Yeah? Do you find it a bit strange that he would want that for you at that junction in your life?
At the time it was very different because I was doing it for money. I wasn't necessarily doing it for pleasure. And he could see instantly from that first date, it gave me more confidence. I was more happy. And he just wanted me to be happy. So we didn't have an issue with that.
But you are doing it for kind of money purposes. It's not. Like,
yes and no. Like now it is different. When I first started, it was fake orgasms and it was just about money. Okay,
and you're faking it on camera?
Yeah,
and
I was back then.
And then how have you learned that art form, or is that just from prior like experience?
It's like anything. The more you do something, the more you get better at it.
Okay.
The more I learned to enjoy myself on camera. The first time I filmed a sex tape, I was so aware the camera was filming. I I felt a bit self-conscious. I didn't know what I was doing. I felt, when I say uncomfortable, I don't mean like I didn't want to be in the situation. It was the first time on camera and I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Now it's very different. I'm very experienced in the bedroom and being on, you know, on the camera. So I relax a lot more. I know what I enjoy and I'm a lot more sexually, I guess, experienced.
So kind of then the money starts coming in, it's slow, you get straight back at it and you're just comfortable. Are there any kind of weird requests at the time or you just...
Weird requests. Well, when I used to cam, I had this guy who just loved the idea of me watching him. So he would open up, he had this cupboard in his office and it'd have guys, well, condoms, and he'd have them pinned up. And in these condoms, they was like already filled with cum. He would put them condoms onto his dick and would wank off into the condoms so that it was a mixture of his cum and the guy's cum. He did that 3 times and then would have 3 items of food in front of him. He'd rinse the condoms onto the food and then eat it.
Does that not make you gag, like all of that?
No, the first time I watched it, I was like, wow, okay, that's crazy. And then I was like, who am I to judge him? That's his fantasy, that's what he enjoys. I thought it was more impressive, the fact he could do it 3 times and stay hard.
And how much kind of money are you earning on the cam business side of things?
Camming was like 1,000 a day.
Oh, so it got to about 1,000 a day,
Yeah.
which is really good money, right? And boyfriend's still cool with it. Are you kind of telling him the stories of what you're seeing, like this guy done that and etc.?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay, cool. And then you want to stay in Australia then? Australia, you're happy with him, etc. £1,000, $1,000. Life is good. What do you do with that money? Are you kind of saving it or?
I was just saving it.
Yeah. So then when does this go up a notch then? Well, it's fucking gone up about 10 notches in about 3 seconds, but...
Within a few months, I started making sex tapes.
With who?
With other OnlyFans creators.
Men?
Yes.
Okay, so how does that conversation go with your
So I started setting up an Instagram page for Bonnie Blue and then other OnlyFans creators would reach out and say, hey, do you want to make a sex tape? Do you want to make content?
And the name Bonnie Blue, where did that come from?
I just Googled it.
What do you mean?
I literally Googled porn names.
And it just came up.
And it was like a whole list of names. Bonnie was one side, Blue was the other side. And I was like, perfect, I'll go Bonnie Blue. Okay,
cool. And then so then the conversation with your partner, like I'm going to now introduce another person into here. How did that conversation go?
It was just very normal. We had a very, very open relationship. Communication wasn't an issue. So I was like, oh, this person's message, they want to do a collab. And both of us like, yeah, that'd be brilliant. That would really help your OnlyFans.
And how many years had you been with him at that point?
That was coming up to the 10 years.
That was 10 years?
Yeah.
Did you not find that strange?
No, because he was seeing, at this point, was more involved with helping me and was like, okay, this could change our life. We could live a lot more comfortably. We could go on luxury.
Are you still in love with him? Or is it kind of fizzled out? 10 years is a...
Yeah, I'm not in love with him anymore. I still care.
Obviously then, but I'm talking about when you're then at that junction, when you're kind of introducing other men, are you still in love with him then?
We'd started to grow apart at that point.
Okay, fair enough. You get married, right?
I got married when I was 20.
Okay, so how many years? I just need a timeline. How many years before the OnlyFans?
I'd been married 4 years.
Okay, cool. How's marriage? How's the wedding? Good?
Nice.
Australia, on a beach?
No, it was in the UK
Oh,
before I
come
went
on.
to Australia.
Back home. Okay, cool. So it's financial though. That is the end goal, right?
At the time, yeah.
Okay, cool. So then you hear about OnlyFans, you want to do OnlyFans, you start collabing with people.
Yeah.
He's cool with it.
Yes.
How does that go then? Is it straight away just skyrockets?
No, because I didn't have a social media, platform. I didn't have a big following. Like, you can upload a sex tape, but if you've not got the followers and subscribers, who's going to buy it?
Right.
So I was earning okay money. It was like 15,000 a month.
Right.
So it was good, but it wasn't crazy.
Some would say that's amazing.
Yeah, it was, but I knew I was good at it.
Right.
I knew when people, did find me, when subscribers actually finally came across my profile, they really liked me and liked the content I made. So I knew I could earn more money. I just needed to reach, I guess, a bigger audience.
And how did they find you? Is it just word of mouth? I don't know. How did it's just you advertising? Because you've got to be careful on what you advertise, right?
Yeah. So Instagram was growing slowly, but it's hard to grow social media. It's not easy, especially when you don't buy fake followers.
Yeah.
I did the schoolies event in Australia.
Right.
That was the 18-year-olds. They all come down to the Gold Coast, which is where I lived at the
Whose
time.
idea was it to do the schoolies?
Mine.
Okay, where did that come from?
My inbox started to get, a good amount of messages saying, hey, I'm going to be on the Gold Coast. Let's make a sex tape.
Right, from like loads of people?
Yes.
Right.
And at the time I was like, well, no, you only work with other OnlyFans creators. Like, you don't sort of make content with strangers. It's people fake it and they always go, oh yeah, fuck a fan and fuck a fan competition.
Yeah.
But they don't go through with it.
Right.
But then when I looked in to the terms and conditions of OnlyFans, I was like, you can actually fuck a random person. You don't need an OnlyFans.
Right.
And teen content has always been hot and sold really well, but it's always been schoolgirls. So I was like, actually, fuck it. Why don't I try the schoolboy content?
Right. And was you worried about the backlash of kind of schoolboy, that kind of the term itself?
I didn't realise I was going to get the amount of backlash.
Okay.
I did a social media post and said, hey, if you're 18 plus, come into the Gold Coast, drop me a message and let's make a tape.
Is this your first time doing kind of multiple in one go?
Yeah. Before I'd probably done maybe 1, 2 or 3 OnlyFans collabs in a week. Aside from that, I hadn't been hitting big numbers.
Right. And are you just thinking, how can I elevate my content? Is this just the thought process of how can I elevate this? Do you know what I mean?
I definitely knew I needed to grow and I wanted to grow and I wanted to reach a bigger audience and I wanted to find a niche, but I didn't know what that was going to look like.
Right. So you set up an event in the Gold Coast.
It wasn't an event. The event was already happening. It's like Freshers Week. It's already going on.
Okay, right. It's like parties, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Schoolies is the exact same. They finish school and they travel to this area called the Gold Coast.
Right.
They go there.
It's like a spring break.
Yeah,
right.
It's the spring break in Australia.
Right. You go to schoolie and you encounter a lot of. I'm trying to just get my wording right because I don't want to get cancelled. Do you know what I mean?
So schoolies, people blame me a lot of the time. They're like, oh, I'm such a creep. I'm such a predator. I've made up this word schoolies.
Right.
I haven't. That is what it's called in Australia.
Okay.
Like you have spring break, like you have freshers. In Australia, it's called schoolies.
Right. You go there and you're just with multiple guys in one day. One
it started off 5, 6 a day.
Okay. And then how was that for you when you did 5 or 6 in one day?
Fine. When I first did the Instagram post and said, hey, I want 18-year-olds, within that evening, I was on Daily Mail, Daily Star.
How old was you, sorry? When
I was 24.
Right,
well, I just turned 25.
Right. And you're obviously hitting the papers straight away.
Yeah.
And then how is that for you? I'm in all these papers.
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought, wow, this is amazing. You don't really see sex workers on mainstream press a lot of the time. And I was like, well, there's clearly a much bigger story here that I've not realised yet. If the press and the papers are blowing this up, there's clearly something I've not realised. I've hit the jackpot and I've not realised exactly why yet. And
are you happy because it just equals more subscribers, or do you want the fame side of it as well?
No, at the time it was money. My subscribers was doubling. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Okay,
do the schoolies, film it, put it up, goes viral. How much money are you kind of starting to make then? So
schoolies happened in November, and by the time I'd post the videos, December I'd hit 40,000.
A month?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is that like when you're looking at that figure?
I was really proud of myself.
Yeah.
I'd seen, and also at this point I was starting to meet fans and subscribers in person. I'd never had that before.
Right.
And I was realising I was giving them an amazing experience. They was having fun with me and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I was happy.
And then the money side of things, what are you doing? Just holding it?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Are you kind of stacking the money? Have you got a plan for the money with your husband?
No plan.
No plan?
No.
You're just holding the money. Is he saying, right, with this money we can do X, Y, Z, or?
We'd split up at this point.
Okay, why did you split up?
Just grow apart. People are going to say it's because of the job and, oh my gosh, it's because you're a sex worker. We'd been together from the age of 14 and a lot of people grow apart. They changed from me at 14 to now I'm very different. And me and him, we had a beautiful relationship, lovely memories. If we'd have tried to stay together, that's when it would have been argumentative, it would have become bitter. So we both agreed, actually, we think we've loved our 10 years together and really, proud of everything we've achieved, but let's go separate ways. And
in your heart of hearts, you generally feel that OnlyFans had nothing to do with the kind of split?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. 40 grand a month?
Yes.
Becoming famous, how are your parents seeing this?
This was in Australia.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It hit the UK a little bit in the US, but nothing crazy. So They obviously they lived in the UK, so they didn't see it blow up as quickly as I did.
Did you preempt them that this is what you was doing?
Yeah.
Okay, and how did that conversation go?
Well, when I first started, a video was leaked to them. So they already knew I was doing OnlyFans and were doing it.
So you didn't tell them, they found out via kind of a video?
Yeah.
And then how did that conversation go then?
They were disappointed a bit to start with. They said, look, we wouldn't have chose this career for you. Are you having money issues? Have you been forced into this? And I was always going to tell them, but this video got leaked within days. I'd only been doing OnlyFans literally within the space of 48 hours.
Do you think in some ways that was easier for you to tell them because it just tears the plaster in it? You didn't have to have the conversation because they've kind of seen it now, innit?
For sure, it definitely made that first conversation easier because I didn't have to say, hey, you know, I'm a slut and I'm going to post it online.
And then your dad, I guess, because how was that comment? Is he was the same? Like?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I was fine. I knew what I was doing, and just said, look, we just want you to be happy, and as long as you're happy and you're choosing to do this, we're going to support you. Can
you appreciate, for people watching out there, that seems quite alien? That's like, what the fuck? How can I? Do you get what I mean?
I see. I've said multiple times that I get it. Everyone's got different opinions. My mum and dad used to see me work really hard in an office, earn okay money, had to save up for ages for holidays, couldn't afford house extension, and just. They could see how hard I worked and how demotivating life can be at times, to then suddenly saying, you know, if you want to fly to Australia, I can pay for you, I can get to see you more, I can do these more trips. Then I think that week I just gone and swam with whales and sharks and got my scuba diving license.
I suppose there's kind of a moral kind of compass there that your parents have to kind of adopt. Do you know what I mean?
I think it depends what you value the most. Morally, I think it's wrong if they would have said, no, we want you to stay in recruitment, be unhappy and have less free time.
Yeah.
Instead, they was, you know, mature enough to go, wow, yeah, you're now traveling a lot more, you're seeing a lot more of Australia where you've always wanted to live, you're happier, you're just happy as a person. So. And
then I guess they have to kind of live with, I suppose, other people, perhaps their friends, knowing that this is what you kind of do. It can be a burden of them. Have you ever had that convo with them, the impact?
Yeah, it's definitely harder for them than it is for me because I travel around a lot more and I get nothing but praised in the street. Everyone is so nice to me, so polite. My parents get a lot of their whispering in the corner, that stare and that, oh, her daughter does this. Yeah. Oh, she's had friends say you need to disown your daughter. You should be ashamed. And that is hard. They've had the press turn up at their house on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. They have had TikToks made about them. People have searched through their Facebook and they've had their lives dug up.
And then I think you said they actually work for you now. Is that the case? Okay. Is that just a natural progression then of mum, your dad, you might as well... I don't know, how does that come
up? It got to a point where they're going to work. Both earned okay money, nothing crazy. My mum was a carer and my dad worked long nights on the train tracks.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense for my mum to go and wipe up shit for, 20k a year when I earned double that in a day. Yeah. I'd prefer her to spend more time with the family and her friends. Same with my dad. There's no reason why he should keep missing out on family events and doing things he wants to do when I could cover the cost.
So when you say they work for you, do they work for you or have you just really tired them and said...
It's a bit of both.
Is it a bit of a wordplay? Do you know what I mean? Like, you work for me, but do they actually...
My mum will help with... my mum has cleaned up after a gangbang before.
No.
Yes.
Okay, why? You could just get any cleaner.
I know, I told her that.
Right.
I told her that. I said to Mum, don't worry, I'll get a cleaner.
Right.
Like, no, I don't mind, I want to help. Like, my family aren't lazy, they've always worked for their money. So then when I started giving them money and I said, look, I've actually got no job for you because they can't be involved in my content. My dad can't be filming it and my mum, can't be pushing the dildo in. Like, there's a very much divide between how much they're involved.
But are they on site then when these things are happening?
No. So when I did this particular gangbang, it was in Nottingham. My parents live in Nottingham. My mum was like, no stress, I'll come and help clear up.
Wow. Fair enough. Close the door, please, now. Sorry, I'm just... Okay, fair enough. Okay, so 40 grand a month, Oz, you're viral in Oz, Daily Mail, press, everything. Mm-hmm. You're famous, right?
No, not famous, but some people would ask for a photo. I was starting to get a name.
And then how is that for you to accept, like, people are stopping you on a regular basis?
It became so normal. I don't know why. I'm not ever experienced being with someone that's famous or had that happen to them, but it sort of just felt normal and I
just
never...
part of what it is.
Yeah, like, I don't know why it felt normal. I've got no reason.
Yeah.
I wasn't chasing fame. I never got into OnlyFans thinking I want to be famous.
Right.
Because the sort of... I hate the word famous, but the level of attention I get now
Is that?
sort of, yeah, to a certain extent is famous or whatever people want to say. OnlyFans people had never gone down the path I had. So if it was me chasing fame, I would have tried to do something else.
Sure.
OnlyFans people before have been kept, it's always been very different. They've not
Sure.
been praised.
But I think it's safe to say you're probably the most famous OnlyFans content creator. Is it fair to say?
Yeah, it feels cocky, but
No,
yeah,
no. It is what it is. You've earned the right, if you want to, if you want to put it like that. So you're kind of at the forefront of this. You are in the Champions League of kind of OF. Okay, so then Australia, then you become so big that Australia kick you out.
So I was still living in Australia then. So this was December.
Yeah.
Fast forward to March.
Right.
You've got spring break.
In America.
In America.
Right.
I was like, wow, this worked so well in Australia. It built my Australian market up a lot.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's take it to America. How best, I know this works. I've done it before.
Yeah.
I went to spring break and fucked 122 students in 2 weeks.
Okay. And then the number-wise, are you kind of aiming for high numbers, or is it just a case of I'm used to it now?
It was more, the more people I slept with, the more videos I got. The
Right.
more videos I got, the more money I earned. So that was where I was chasing the numbers.
So are you chasing the content as opposed to the sex? Do you know what I mean? Or are
It's a bit of
they
both.
the same thing? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, it's a bit of both.
The notoriety, you're kind of, you want that as opposed to the
sex,
naked
obviously,
men. I'm trying to just get my words. I'm trying to I don't want my channel cancelled, man. Yeah, do you know what I
The
mean?
sex obviously happens with the content, but yeah, the numbers originally came from, I knew, so when I did schoolies, taking it back into November, after I, had already sold all my schoolies videos, everyone was like, I want more videos, I want more virgins, I want people that have got smaller dicks on bigger dicks. I'm like, guys, schoolies is over. I've got no content left on
Right.
schoolies.
And just to flip it on his head, obviously, if a 24-year-old man was doing that, can you appreciate it? Don't think he would get as much notoriety as what you. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. Male porn stars have always done schoolgirls, and they do very well.
Have they?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't even know it was a
I've
thing.
never
I thought that
seen-
would be supremely frowned upon. No.
No, I don't
So
think
they
I've
go
ever
and they do
seen-
like virgins and stuff like that. Is that an actual thing?
Yeah, like I've never seen Johnny Sins get anything but respect.
I don't know this gentleman, and I'm not even lying.
He, like, male porn star, so everyone says, I'm a predator. If this was a guy, they'd be arrested, they'd be in jail.
Right.
Couldn't be further from the truth. If
Right.
you go on Pornhub, you go on OnlyFans, the most searched category is schoolgirls. And that is guys fucking girls dressed as schoolgirls, which is very fake. At least what I'm doing is true and it's real. It's not role play.
It's fake because it's role play, but
Yeah.
you're actually at that age group. You're hitting that actual age group. I'm saying, could a 24-year-old man actually do that age group?
Yeah,
it
they
would
could
be
definitely fuck
supremely.
an 18-year-old. I've fucked porn stars double my age.
Yeah.
No one's got an issue with that.
And I think it's that just because they're just turning into adults. Do you know what I mean? It's
yeah, that's the best age.
Why is it the best age?
It's fun, they're not experienced, you get to teach them.
Are you a teacher now?
Yeah, I'm a teacher. What do you want me to teach you?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Do you want a lesson on how to suck dick?
No, I wouldn't want a lesson in that. Why would I want a lesson in that? No, Diddy. Okay, cool. All right. So you go America.
Yeah,
Have you been kicked out of Australia at this moment?
not yet.
Okay, cool. You go Australia, America.
Yeah.
It goes well over there. Do they
Really,
already know
really
you
well.
from there?
Yeah, so when I went to spring break, it was in a hotel. I was expecting to hand out, I'd got business cards ready, like it had my
What did it say on
QR
it?
code. It was like, come film with me, and I had my mobile number. I was expecting to be handing out these business cards, no one have any idea who I am.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I was there for 2 weeks. I was like, I'll spend the first 2-3 days saying hi to people and basically recruit 18-year-olds, 21-year-olds at spring break to come and fuck me.
Yeah.
I, prior to that, had been doing TikTok saying, hey boys, I'm coming to spring break this year. I'd love you to use my holes. Those TikToks did better than I expected because as soon as I got to spring break, everyone already sort of knew who I was.
Right. You go out there. Is Josh the cameraman at this point?
No.
I want to talk about Josh because he's part of your team now.
Yes.
We want to know how you recruited Josh. So Josh, get ready, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. There and then the increment in money is just going higher and higher.
March, I hit 250
grand a month.
Yeah.
What do you do when you process like how do you process that?
I didn't have any crazy reaction. I didn't go and do some spontaneous buy or anything. I was very content with how my life was. I did this for freedom and flexibility. Yes, and now I I earn money, but at the time, it was just, I wanted to be able to go to the beach with my friends. I wanted to go on their scuba diving trips.
Right, and that's all achievable now, right?
Yeah.
So are you like, I'm rich, I've done it, I've finished, end game. Do you know what I mean?
No, because now I've learned how much pleasure you can have.
Okay, so now you're saying it's not about the money anymore.
It's a bit of both. Obviously, the money, I need money to host events and travel and maintain my lifestyle, but I also receive a lot of pleasure.
Are you scorned from the failed marriage? Be
Am I
honest.
what?
Are you scorned from it? Like,
What do you mean?
Are you like, is the failed marriage in your head as kind of like, I failed at something, so now I'm gonna just be someone else?
No.
I don't want to get too psychologically deep with you.
It's fine. No, I generally believe too many people stay in marriages when they should split up. They just stay with somebody because they're like, oh, I've been with this person 10 years. Oh, we've got so many memories together. We should just stay together. Loads of people, some people, long-term happy marriage, no issue. I think a lot of people just stay in their marriage because it's the easy thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's an easy route. And I definitely think I probably should split up with my partner, maybe a bit earlier than what I did. But when your money's tied, you have lived with someone from such a young age and you've got all these memories, it's very hard to think, suddenly I'm going to go solo. It was I was comfortable. And I think most people live, even if it's jobs, loads of things. People just want to be comfortable.
Yeah, sure. A 10-year marriage, one would presume that talk of children would be amongst you two. Was that ever a conversation?
Yeah, a year or so before OnlyFans.
Sorry to get personal. Do you know what I mean?
That's okay.
But you appear to be quite open. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I tried to get pregnant like a year before and was having quite a few issues getting pregnant.
Right. Don't want to get too personal, but can you get pregnant in the future?
Maybe. It definitely would be through IVF and help. I wouldn't be able to get pregnant naturally.
Okay, so then how was it taking that news then? Because that's obviously that's heartbreaking.
Yeah, definitely hard. But I was like, okay, I'll save for IVF. There's definitely routes. It wasn't you're never going to be able to get pregnant. It was, these are your options. You're going to have to go down the IVF route.
But when you're told that, are you kind of like optimistic about it, or are you kind of heartbroken? Because that's like I suppose for most women that's kind of gut wrenching.
Oh yeah, of course it was upsetting because I've been trying to get pregnant for sort of 6, 7, 8, 9 months, and my friends around me, some of them was trying for a baby at the same time. Within 2 months, I fell pregnant. Right. And then everyone tells you when you're trying to get pregnant, it will happen when you least expect it. Don't worry about it. Don't stress. You're overthinking it. In my head, I was like, I just feel like there's something wrong. I was taking ovulation tests. I was doing everything you was I guess meant to do when you're trying to get pregnant, and it just wasn't happening for me.
So when you can't get pregnant with your partner, is that also another little crack in the vase, would you say, in the marriage?
No, both super supportive around it. It was one of them things.
Fair enough, sorry to ask.
It's fine.
I don't want to get too, you know what I mean?
No, it's fair touching about the IVF. Yeah. The press made up a rumour back in I think it was like January, February. There's like, oh my God, Bonnie Blue's pregnant. Okay,
yeah, let's talk about the pregnant. Yeah. There was some type of pregnant rumours. Who kind of started that? Because
the press.
The press started it. Okay. Did you not have anything to do with that? Did you not post what did you post?
I posted a pickle covered in chocolate and put cravings.
Right. That's it.
Yeah, so the press, there was already news articles, there's already TikToks that had gone viral saying Bonnie Blue's pregnant. And the press like to talk shit. A lot of the time they make up stories. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna lean on this one. I'm gonna pretend. So I uploaded a pickle, it was covered in chocolate and sprinkles, and I just put #cravings.
Okay.
I let that story run for 48 hours, and then I used the extra money I'd had from the traffic, from the press, to pay for somebody else's IVF journey.
How much extra money did you get out of that traffic?
I'd say like 50, 60,000. 50,
60,000. So that's how powerful the press can be.
Yeah.
And then when you got the press literally eating out of your hand, how is that for you? Because people die to get some type of press. For you, it's almost like they're kind of chasing you.
I used to do a lot of press. I used to, every time they'd reach out and say, hey, can we do an interview? Can you come to our offices? I'd be like, yeah, no problem. Yeah. I don't do press interviews at all anymore. I don't speak to the press. I don't acknowledge it.
Is that because you have a hate for them or love-hate, or is it because you just don't need it?
A few things. I don't need it. They follow me naturally. Yeah. But so many things get twisted. And I know that happens all the time. Yeah. But if I do an interview and they'll just pick out a few words from it, and then the headline gets completely twisted. And it's like, for example, I did one in January and she spoke about STDs. And I was like, yes, I'm aware about STDs. the headline was like, Bonnie Blue's happy to get STDs. She's happy to basically get STDs. And then from that, everyone else copies each other's articles. And instead of what was a really positive conversation about sex, just ended up being about STDs.
But I suppose for you, I mean, is there no such thing as bad press? Because if that just equates 50, 60 grand, are you...
I thought that was the case. I used to think any press is good press.
Right.
However, OnlyFans don't want a lot of bad press. They want to be spoken about a lot more positive, and they want to be put in a more positive light.
Right.
I respect OnlyFans a lot, and it's my whole
do you
income.
kind of speak to OnlyFans as a company? Because I suppose you're one of the ambassador, an ambassador now. So you kind of in like the head office.
Oh yeah, like I've gone for dinner with OnlyFans, and they're brilliant.
And what is it? Are you like a part of it? Like, are they giving you shares basically?
No.
Because do you get what I mean? Have you like said to them, listen, it's time you fucking give me some shares?
Yeah, no, not quite.
But you talk to them and you like liaise with them about, I don't know, rules and regulations and stuff like that.
I probably speak to OnlyFans every day.
Oh really? And you really got it like that? Mm-hmm. So do they sponsor you then?
No.
So OnlyFans takes a cut, right?
20%.
Okay. Should they not be taking less from you because you want to? Do you know? Have you had that convo at dinner? Like, listen, I don't want the free steak. Take fucking 10%.
No, not quite. I mean, I think OnlyFans is brilliant. Like, I know a lot of people say, I won't want to give them a percentage, but it's like if it wasn't for their platform and their marketing and everything else, I would have never known about their platform. And they make it really good, like for subscribers. And when I'm chatting online, it is made so easy. Yeah. So I'm like, I can't fault them. So I don't want to be like, hey, you don't deserve the 20%, because they do.
And then what about kind of the enticement to get other people into this game? Do you know what I mean? Like some people draw a line saying like it shouldn't really be so public as it is.
Yeah.
Obviously you're kind of an ambassador, so your views may be different.
Something's crossed my
Go for it.
Yeah, it is hard because people say you shouldn't speak so proudly about OnlyFans because not everyone earns money. Some people aren't cut out for it. It's as simple as that. And they're also just stupid. They're just somebody with a pussy and think, I can earn money. And it's not always the case. But
some will say it's people like you that made them have that mindset. Like, it's so easy, I could be like them. I've got
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you take
accountability or...?
No. If they're stupid enough to think it's easy, then they're probably going to be on benefits and doing fuck all of their life. Like, any business is not easy. You could do a podcast and like make it look easy. Yeah. And if someone else goes, I could set up a podcast, it'll be easy. You know it's not that easy. Yeah. But if they think it is, that's their fault.
So what is it you've done that has made you, like, what key things have you done that have made you do this brand? Obviously you thought of niche ideas, multiple people and stuff like that. Is there anything else that you can kind of put your finger on? Because, I don't know, you seem to have the formula locked.
I think what's made me so big is I'm not just someone that sleeps around. I've got a brain and I'm very clever. Yeah. I market myself very well. I know what to say. I know what to trigger the Karens at home. I know how to label things. And the biggest thing is marketing. Yeah. I know what to say to get people talking. I know what to say if I want a press article to go out within 40 minutes. I know what to say to get people talking. So you know the rules of the game and you play it. Yeah. And I suppose no one can blame you for that, right? No, of course not. It's quite interesting because, like, I've had OnlyFans people sat here and it's kind of, I'll tell you from my point of view, OnlyFans disgusting. It's like nothing to do with me, etc., etc. And I've got to be honest, and I'm trying to keep balance. It's like the more OF girls that sit here, the more kind of used to it I get. Do you know what I mean? It's definitely a lot more normal. Right. Yeah. So that's what I mean. It's like my own mindset as, I wouldn't say change. I still don't agree with it. Do you know what I mean? But I'm starting to understand it more. Does that in a scarier kind of way? Because I'm like, yo, I don't want anything to do. Do you know what I mean? I can remember when I was younger. When I say younger, I mean like I was like 16, 17, 18. And I'd go on people's Instagrams and do them Q&A questions and they'd ask like fitness influencers or people I know and they'd say like, oh, would you do OnlyFans? And they're like, oh, maybe. And I'd be like, oh, that's so weird. Why would you consider OnlyFans? Like, and I didn't understand it. I just thought it was weird, cheap, nasty. Yeah. Now I've got a whole different perspective on it. I mean, it's strange because I have to be honest because even my mindset is changing. Not that I agree with it. Yeah. I'm just saying I'm starting to understand it more. Yeah. Can you appreciate that you're one of them people now that are helping, I don't even helping, like, but you're changing mindsets. And I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah. But you're out here and you're doing that. But it's the oldest profession. Even though I've completely changed the game and I've created multiple games, people have been having sex and the prostitutes and all stuff have been around forever.
Right, so you've used that word, not me.
Which word? Prostitute?
Yep.
Yeah.
So would you consider yourself one then?
I mean, I'd be a terrible prostitute if I am, because I do it for free when people queue up and fuck me.
But you said it's the oldest profession in the world,
Yeah.
and you was referring to yourself, right? So in a roundabout way, I understand they don't pay you and it's illegal,
Yeah.
but in a roundabout way, you do earn money from said act. So
Yeah, you could call it prostitution.
do you care? I'm just
I'm
just
not
curious
bothered.
too. I'm just
Honestly, if you introduce me as like, hey, this is Bonnie Blow, she's a prostitute, I'm not insulted by that. You can never be insulted by a comment unless you let yourself feel insulted by it.
Yeah. Some people have sat here and have kind of owned it and called themselves the number one slosher or number
Yeah.
one of that. Is that something that you want to do, or?
I mean, I don't need to say it because I just am. I don't see anyone else with a world record. So,
Okay.
like, people think it's facts. I'm a slut and I'm very proud of it. There's no arguments, but I don't need to walk around going, hey, I'm a slut, I'm a slag. It's out there. People know I am.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, cool. So going back to America, you do the spring break.
Yeah.
The money's through the roof, and then you get kicked out of Australia, right?
Not yet.
Okay, so you go back to Australia.
I go back to Australia.
And they're like, Struth, mate, get the fuck out of here.
Not just yet. So
Right.
then I did a trip to the US. So I came back from Cancun,
Right.
did a few months in Australia, went to the US for a couple of weeks, and I did... What did I do? I started doing like collabs with more porn stars.
Right.
I was building more of a name for myself. I was doing OnlyFans collabs with people with bigger followings and becoming more of a, I guess, porn star.
So can I ask why the porn star route when you're making probably more than porn stars?
It was like
Is that for notoriety then? You want to...
more like in between these stunts meaning like schoolies and spring break. Obviously wanted to continue making content. And people enjoy the amateur content with strangers, but they also enjoyed porn star shoots.
Right.
And I wanted to give my subscribers the best of both worlds. I didn't want to just say, hey, come to me for 18-year-olds. Any other content, you're going to have to go elsewhere.
Right.
I wanted my platform to be open to everyone.
So you want to dominate the market, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah, expand the market. Okay, fair enough. And then, so what's the difference between a shoot like that and a shoot that you kind of are in charge of?
I mean, it's different because, I mean, these were still OnlyFans one. There wasn't like paid professional shoots.
Right.
But they're very much experience. You're focused on the cameras. You might have a camera person in the room filming.
Yeah.
It's more about the video as opposed to feeling.
Okay. And I will ask who's the best people that you've collabed with. I don't want details, please.
Best people. There's a girl called Luna Lux in America. She's brilliant.
Right.
Always has so much spit. She gives very good sloppy blowjobs.
This account's going.
Oh, you prefer it with sandpaper, would you?
Say goodbye to this account. It's been lovely having this YouTube. We've had amazing guests. Oh, we're done. Okay, fair enough. So you tour Australia, you go down that route. And then what about like just like you're going on so many shows from like mainstream television to like all the biggest podcasts. People are mentioning you. How is that for you to kind of?
Nice.
Yeah.
Obviously, like it was like, okay, wow, this is working. My name is growing. The more I grow, the bigger events I can do. Because when I did spring break, that was when I first started to think, I want to do a world record. I want to fuck.
Right, okay. So just, we'll get to the world records, but
Yeah.
then there's like famous celebrities speaking your name. I mean, from your Russell Brands to, I don't know, whoever it is. Like, how is that? Are you just mind blown with it, or is it you just don't care?
The one I was most, like, I guess, taken back by, I think it was the BAFTAs. If
Right.
Jack Whitehall was like, oh, this advert was as long as Bonnie Blue's queue.
Right.
And everyone in the audience was laughing. And I'm like, wow, that's like proper celebrities and people that are famous sat in that audience, and for them to laugh,
Yeah.
they understand what he's talking about.
So you're like a cultural reference, like.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, do you take time to process that? Do you think, how the fuck has this happened? Or
At
do you
times
get what I mean?
do. At times I'm like, this is crazy. I'm just an OnlyFans girl. How am I now having documentaries being made? How am I on daytime TV? How am I... At one point, I was the most searched woman in the world.
Yeah, I would say you're probably more searched than, who was a lot? Andrew Tate was probably you're bigger than all of them.
So it is crazy, but even though it's happened very quickly, it sort of happened at a steady rate. So I was able to mentally process it as and when it was
Does
happening.
it kind of give you an ego or not?
Oh, no, definitely not.
No.
When people come up to me, they go, oh my God, you're that famous girl. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, I don't see it as that, even though I'm aware I can't go down the street now without security and having to take photos.
Yeah.
I'm not oh, you should take photos with me. Oh, you should you should know who I am.
You do have a down-to-earth nature about you. I have to say that.
I'm surprisingly normal.
Even
I know
from
people
conversations
think
we've had away from here, you just appear like a normal.
I'm very, very focused. I'm very passionate about what I do. But aside from that, like, I'm just normal. I'll be rotting away in bed watching Netflix in my pajamas, and like I'm just no other word other than normal.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Okay, so then talk about the world record. So you do this, and then from there you think, I know I've got another brainwave.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break the world record.
So that was in March. I was like, okay, I want to do the world record.
Right. So how do you know what the current record is at that moment? Because I'm
just on Google. It was 919.
Okay, and that's not Guinness Book of Record. They haven't come there with like a clipboard and a badge.
I wish they were. I mean, I love watches. So I wish they wish they did come and watch. But so that was in March. But then it wasn't forgotten about. It was in the back of my mind. I'd mentioned it on a couple of podcasts, like, hey, I want to do the world record.
Right.
But I was aware the amount of organisation that was going to take. So it was in my mind, but it wasn't a priority. So I went back to Australia for a few months, came back to the UK in September.
Did you get booted out from Australia then? Yeah.
No. So I went back there. Everything was still there. I then came on it was meant to be a 2-week trip in September.
UK. Right.
To the UK to fuck freshers.
Right.
So it's similar to spring break, and that was sort of the path I was following. I was like, I know this works. I want to keep doing it. I went to Nottingham Freshers Week, shared my location online, and just let every single day for nearly 2 weeks. The road was just full of people queuing, and I would just fuck from like 11 a.m. till early hours in the morning. And that really blew me up in the UK market, because prior to that, it'd just been like Australia and the US.
Right.
And everyone was so taken back by it. They're like, is she for real? This is crazy, because people, OnlyFans girls always make stories up. They're always like, oh, I've done this, or oh, I've done this crazy thing. And then when you ask for the evidence, or you're like, okay, well, where's the proof? It's suddenly doesn't exist.
Right.
Me doing that, and me doing social media interviews with them where I could put it on things like Instagram and TikTok, hit a much bigger audience, and it really shook people. They're like, she is actually doing this. Like, she is disgusting. Like, how does she think this is acceptable? And
when people are saying that you are disgusting, does that bother you at all? Like,
they've never met me.
Right.
Like they've never met the men in the queue that they also call disgusting.
Right.
So I'm not bothered by them. And I've also at this point got hundreds and hundreds of subscribers who adore me, and that's who I'm making it for.
Right.
I'm not making it for Karen down the road who's fat and lazy and can't be asked to do anything with her life.
And you're still making about 250 a month, roughly?
By September, it was pushing up to like 400.
Right.
Because by October, November, I was hitting 500.
Okay, and then the type of people that are coming, does it ever shock you that these type of people, or?
Yeah, some of them are so good looking. So you'd be expecting just guys that aren't getting laid.
Right.
Couldn't be further from the truth. Like, some of these guys are so hot. I'm like, are you actually in line for me? Like, are you okay?
Right. And how does it work? They've got to bring an ID, or how does it work?
Yeah, the only rule is bring your ID.
That's it. Mm-hmm. And they've just got to be of age. And then, do you have staff there to handle all of this? How's this working?
So this might shock you, but when I did Freshers the first time, I had already done about 5-6 days by myself. No, there was no camera person helping. There was no security. And I just did it by myself.
What do you mean by yourself? Like, go outside, get someone, go in?
I would I'd take them up, do the consent forms, fuck them, take them back down, bring the next person up. No one was there, no security, no camera people.
And then from a psychological standpoint, is your head not with you are you just an empty vessel?
Oh no, it is definitely attached.
Do you know what I mean? Because
I know what you mean, but
I've had people sat here and say it's like psychological, or they've taken their mind out of the game and it's just work, or do you know what I mean?
But not the case.
But you're saying that's not the case.
I mentally am fine, physically fine. I know what I'm doing. I know I enjoy it. If at any point I felt like it was too much, I could have said, hey, sorry, can you join the queue tomorrow instead? I'm tired, or I've had enough. Like, I want to keep going. So
it doesn't feel like work?
No. There's times when the editing and the consent forms and all of that feels repetitive. It's admin and it's irritating at times. But the sex, no.
And do the kind of men have to have some type of hygiene limit or anything? Do you know what I mean? Because they could just be anyone off the street.
Yeah,
well, they are.
Yeah,
do you understand what I'm saying?
But they know they're coming to me for sex.
Right.
So the biggest issue I have is I can just taste Lynx aftershave everywhere.
Lynx what though?
Aftershave.
What's the best Lynx though?
The Africa one.
Yeah.
African.
Okay.
But yeah, they know they're coming to me for sex. Even though they are random people, they've come to me for one reason. They know I'm going to be sucking their dick, maybe licking their ass. Like, they're going to want to be clean. But if I'll offer them a shower beforehand if they want to, majority of them are like, oh, can I just go to the toilet and freshen up quickly? And then they come straight to the bedroom.
Would you ever reject someone, like if you just, they weren't hygiene? Has that happened?
No.
That hasn't happened?
No. Like, there hasn't been someone I've gone down and thought, oh my gosh, like, this is cheesy, or ew, you're disgusting. Like I said, it's because they know they're coming to me for sex. So and they're so nervous. It's like a first date in a way.
Right. They're
spraying themselves with aftershave. They've just gone and had a haircut. They want to impress.
And they're happy to show their face?
A mixture. Some are happy to show their face, others don't want to show their face.
And if they don't show their face, you're happy with it?
No problem.
And if they say they don't want their face on camera, is that a problem? Or is it a case of once you sign, whatever happens?
No, if they said to me halfway through or at the end of it and said, hey, actually, I don't want to show my face, I can blur it or I can edit it. And if they're unsure, I say to them, just don't show your face, because I want them to feel comfortable. So if they know their face on camera, they're probably going to be a bit more nervous and not enjoy the experience. Because when I do strangers content, it's a mixture of them enjoying it, but me also getting a good video. I don't just focus on the video. I want them to have a good time with me.
Okay, so in order, what's a priority? Their happiness and enjoyment, your happiness and enjoyment, your angles and the OF angle of I need to sell this.
Yeah, definitely their
snog, marry, avoid.
Yeah, definitely their happiness.
It's
and make sure they're okay.
That's
100%.
a priority.
I
really?
never want them to feel uncomfortable. Because of them, I've got what I've got. So if I'm to put them in an uncomfortable situation, or it defeats the whole object of me doing it. I'm there to pleasure them.
But I guess they know what they're walking into, so how can they really be uncomfortable? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know what you're walking into. So if you're uncomfortable,
it's no secret.
It's
you know what
you.
you're coming to me for. You've seen a TikTok online saying, hey, I want to fuck you and film it. So they're already fully aware. Doesn't mean they're not going to be nervous, but they know. So I'd say biggest thing is make sure they're okay.
Yeah.
Then it's hard to say because I know I'm okay. So I sort of feel like that should be third. But yeah, if the second would be, am I okay? Because if at any point I'm not okay,
right,
that's concerning. Like, I need to obviously be okay. And then third, the video.
And has that ever happened where you don't feel okay?
I've definitely had times where I'm tired.
Yeah.
I never had it where I'm in pain or I'm like, I don't feel comfortable, I don't feel safe.
And kind of being okay, the kind of health side of things.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about that a bit? Obviously, everyone's going to want to talk about that. How do you maintain? Go for it. How do you maintain that your health is kind of?
I guess just I have regular STD tests.
How regular?
If I'm shooting, it's about every 10 to 11 days.
Okay, but what about the gaps in between? There's no action.
Oh yeah, obviously, when I'm shooting, I'm getting tested. Like I said, every 10 to 11 days.
But then there's a period of obviously there's no testing. So then how many kind of people would be in that gap?
It depends, but
average.
I mean, when I do the students, it was 155 in 2 weeks.
And so you've got 155 people with no test, start to finish.
Condoms. But
okay, cool. Obviously they can break, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I'm sure some maybe do. Yeah.
I mean, they're very strong. You can blow big balloons out them.
I'm gonna take your word for it. But are you ever worried about that? Is it ever something that, or you just I've signed up for this as part of the job?
Obviously, they can be a concern, but I know what I'm doing and I'm comfortable with the situation I'm in.
Have you ever caught anything?
Touch wood, not yet. Definitely had like water infections and stuff from a lot of sex, but not an STD yet.
I guess from a business point of view, if you had, you wouldn't say it, would you? Because that would just tarnish your whole image.
No, people get things all the time and that's okay. You're made to feel like, the big thing like I think should be more spoken about is if you get something, it's okay, speak up. Like, but you're made to feel like, oh, it's dirty or there's something wrong with you.
So just to clarify, if you got something, you would announce it. You wouldn't
I don't
just
think I'd go online saying, oh my gosh, I've got something.
Think of the press, you get another 50, 60 grand. Do you know what I mean?
But if you was to say, have you ever caught anything? I'd be like, oh yeah, in the past I have.
So you have?
No, okay. I said, if you said to me.
I tried to catch you.
No, honestly, haven't. And
I'm just curious because I'm just looking at it from both sides. Do you know what I mean? But you're saying you would openly say, right, I've caught something.
If you asked me and I had, I'd say, oh yeah, I have. And you go to the doctors or you get this medicine or this is what you have to do afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been, part of it is luck. I have been lucky.
Fair enough. So you do the actual Nottingham thing, still press, they're lapping up everything that is going on. You're now here, Australia, America, which is like core demo. Question.
Yes.
What would you say is like your demographic of guys? Do you get what I'm saying? If you've been, or is it in certain countries there's a specific race or demographic? Do you understand what I'm saying? Just from your experience.
Recently, I've had a lot of Indians.
Okay.
But
I'm
no.
not Indian, by the way, so don't give it. Yeah. Right.
But as a whole, like, I really can't say there's not a typical guy. If I had to paint and say what the average guy looks like, that queues up for me.
Yeah.
Everyone is so different.
Right.
So
race-wise,
I think the UK is, you've got about every race here anyway.
Yeah.
So it is such a mixture.
So Australia would just be what?
Australia was predominantly just white male guys.
Right. America, spring break. Same?
I'd say like, yeah, a lot of them white. You do have like at spring break there was black people as well.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, cool. And then you do the Nottingham thing, right? And then from there you say, I want to break the record.
I'd already been speaking about the record beforehand as
Yeah.
well. It was like I said, it was more of a logistics thing. It was like, I know it's going to be difficult. It is a lot of work.
Right.
I'd been speaking about it, but I knew schoolies, spring break and freshers. I knew they worked. So I didn't want to spend every podcast, every time I did a TikTok saying, I want to do this, I want to do that. It becomes boring and repetitive. I wanted to continue focus on what I knew worked for me. And I knew in the background I was going to be planning doing the world record, which I'd already spoken about. But like I said, hadn't made it a priority.
Sure.
I straight away after freshers in September started making TikToks to promote schoolies back in Australia.
Okay.
So I was like, hey boys, I'm coming back to Australia. Can't wait to fuck you. I will be back there in a couple of weeks.
And when you're saying that on TikTok, are you not worried about getting banned and stuff
So I
like that?
say it in different words. I'll be like, hey, I'm going to be back on the Gold Coast. Come and get me on my knees. I want you to use my holes.
Okay.
Come and give me your SPF.
And you've never been banned by TikTok?
Oh, loads, yeah.
Okay. And
I burn through TikToks all the time.
Okay, it's just another one.
Yeah.
One followers. Okay, cool. So in your mind, you're saying, right, I want to break the record. You've Googled it. It's, how many was it before you?
919.
So just to get it all prepared, how kind of hard is that? Because it seems like you just put a message out and they all arrive.
Yeah, it is. In a way, it is as simple
It's like a
as
Lynx
that.
advert when it's free and the women come out. Do you know what I mean?
I started doing TikToks beforehand.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do them for too long before because I was like, if I said, oh, it's going to be in 2 months' time, people forget.
Right.
You can't be saying, oh, it's on this date in 2-3 months' time. People completely lose track.
Yeah.
So it was only about 4 or 5 days beforehand, I said, hey, this is the address I'm going to be at.
Right.
Come and have sex with me. Come and use me.
Is this in London?
This was in London.
Right.
Yeah.
And are you saying it then that I'm going to break the record, or
No.
you're just waiting to see what happens?
Waiting to see what's happening because I was concerned no one was going to turn up.
Right.
But I did not know how many people was going to turn up. You didn't have to purchase a ticket. You wasn't given a time slot or anything like that.
But there's no tickets in general, right?
No.
Okay.
So I had no indication on how many people was going to turn up, how many people are viewing this,
Yeah.
how many people are actually interested in turning up.
Sure.
So I didn't want to say, hey, I'm doing the world record,
Just
and then
wanted to
say,
yeah.
hey, look,
and
it
then
flopped.
it didn't happen. Yeah, fair enough.
I also knew I was going to have a TV documentary crew there. So I was like, the last thing I want to do is say on camera that I
Okay.
don't have any edit of,
Right.
hey, I'm doing a world record.
So you're filming a documentary at the time?
Yeah.
Who was
with
that?
Channel 4.
Okay, cool. Fair enough.
And then I didn't want them to be stood there and they're literally filming
Okay.
nothing.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So yeah, I did loads of TikToks, organised a Telegram group chat,
Yeah.
and turned up at 11 a.m. at the house in London. And I was so happy because there was already a queue. I was like, thank fuck, because I was so worried. Like at this point, I'd already got security,
Yeah.
staff to go through consent forms.
How many staff do you have working?
At the time, like staff there, maybe up to like 20, including security.
Right.
I was like, there might be more staff than there is people to fuck me. Like I didn't know what it was going to go. Like
Right.
I had done the queues before. This was very, very different.
Right. Okay, cool. You go on and break the record,
Yeah.
and then in your words, you break the record.
Yeah,
How many people?
1,057.
How long?
Just over 12 hours.
Okay, I'm no Carol flipping Balderman, but I think that's about 40 seconds a person.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem logistically possible.
It does if you are very organised.
Even then,
I'd say people had a mixture, especially to start with, about 20 to 30 seconds. I started off with big gangbangs because then everyone's hard, ready, got the condoms on, and it was just rotating in a circle. The numbers, they didn't have to finish. They didn't have to come.
Oh, okay.
So these
Okay,
numbers,
I didn't know that because that's what I would have thought was quantified.
No.
So if it goes in and out.
God, some guys finished after a few seconds, other guys takes hours. Like it wasn't about coming.
Right. So it's about in and once it's in, done.
Yeah, once you're in, a couple of pumps, it counts.
Okay, and who's there to verify this?
I mean, Channel 4 was there filming.
Channel 4 verified
Channel
this?
4 was filming. And
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Man like Josh is there.
Yeah, obviously I had Josh was filming, I had my team that had to do everyone's consent form, so we was aware on the numbers. But no, you don't ever get some sort of award or acknowledgement from the Guinness World Records.
No, I'm just curious because some people will say, well, where's the proof? How do we actually know? Do you know what I mean? And I suppose, are we just taking your word for it is what I'm trying to get at.
Join the queue or watch the video.
So you have a video of 12 hours uninterrupted footage?
So I've got a
That's
trailer.
what I'm just about.
I've got a trailer pinned on my Twitter. Shall I show you a part of it?
No.
Are you sure you don't want? Let me skim through it.
No.
It will squash your opinions of.
No.
Is it true?
No.
I think you should have a look.
Do the scrubbing thing where it just
Yeah,
goes,
I will skim
fast.
through it. Okay, you ready? Are you watching?
Yeah, is that... yeah,
Oh wait, how do you do it? So. Oh, 1 second.
okay, I don't need sound. Okay, cool.
Are you sure you don't want to keep watching it?
No, I'm good. Okay,
We don't
cool.
want you to finish too early. It's fine.
No, that's cool. Again, I get it, but I suppose there's no indication of there was actually. Do you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that I'm just curious. Is there a 12-hour footage that is out there to be like, here you go, count yourselves?
Yeah, there's a 12-hour video. It is harder to sell it than what you think.
Oh no, I hear that. I don't think you need to sell it, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying for kind of proof purposes.
The people that want to watch it, if you said to me now, I want to see the 12-hour footage, I'll happily say, go and grab some popcorn, let's kick our legs back and we can watch 12
Okay,
hours
and
footage.
I'm just curious whether or not you would make that available to people that want to doubt this record. That's what I'm trying to get at.
100%. Anyone that would say want to question me, I can show you the video.
Okay, curious. Okay, cool. You break the record, how does that for you then?
It was a lot of fun. I was expecting to be sore. I didn't know how I was going to feel. I was just so happy. And I think it was a proper eye-opener of, wow, how many fans and subscribers I got. Because prior to that, this was in January, my biggest focus was on the US market in Australia.
Yeah.
I'd not been building myself, I'd only been building myself up for a few months in the UK. And then I'm narrowing it down to London.
Right.
So I'm like, do I have 1,000 people that are willing to come and fuck me and be part of something when they know it's on camera? I was just so happy that I had got really supportive and nice fans.
And then the increment in money, is it kind of straight away?
Yeah, I started to hit over $1 million
A month?
a month.
Sterling? Dollars?
Yes.
Holy shit. Okay, let me just talk about Josh, because Josh is with you a lot.
Yes.
How did you find Josh? I know how you found him, but just for the purposes.
Used to be on some sort of podcast, can't remember the name.
Okay, it's like that, is it?
We
Josh,
can-
do you want to tell your story?
No, I'll say it.
No?
So I hired Josh so Josh does photography and like videography. I said to him, hey, could you come and take some videos of me interviewing people that I'm about to fuck in the street? And I'd gone on his podcast prior to this in May and I told him about my spring break stories. They all just thought it was probably not true. They was just like, okay, whatever. We've had people come on and tell us crazy stories all the time.
Yeah.
I go obviously back to Australia and do all my things. I then came back to do freshers, said to him, can you video me? I want to ask them a question. I want to say, spend 2 minutes with me alone or double it and pass it on. He didn't know what he's letting himself into. He still thought, okay, maybe they're just going to be other OnlyFans creators. Like, surely this girl is not just sharing a location online and this is all true.
Yeah.
So when he turned up late.
Wait a second.
On time today, FYI.
Turned up late. I mean, I think I was meant to be here for 6 once.
That's true. It's true. Actually. Yeah, actually, you was late. Yeah.
Her makeup.
All right.
And he videoed it and was like, wow, okay, hats off to you. This is, all the stories you're saying are true.
Right.
So from there, I built a sort of good friendship. I hired him for a few more videographer shoots, whatever, photo shoots. And yeah, we worked together well. And then he came on full time.
So you poached him, basically.
Saved him, I think it's a better word.
Were you saved or poached, Josh?
Groomed.
Oh, wow.
If I'm going to groom someone, they're at least 18.
And then, Josh, how was it for you kind of filming this stuff, man? Like, seeing it, do you know what I mean? I suppose you've got to kind of sensitise yourself.
I was fine with it because I was already sort of had my foot in the door of the adult industry.
What do you mean a foot in the door? How?
Well, with the podcast, with a few acquaintances, I might have.
Oh, so you was already filming that type of content? Because there's...
Yeah, I'd already filmed some, yeah.
Okay, because there's one thing talking about it, but to kind of film it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. It's when you're filming, it's not about... I'm not sitting there getting horny.
Right, that
I'm
was...
thinking about the angles, the lights,
Yeah,
things like that.
and then I suppose, yeah, people would say that, like, how kind of hard is that for you to detach the kind of sexual element to just, I need these angles, do you know what I mean?
There's zero difficulty.
Yeah,
You have to be professional.
yeah, and how kind of hard is that for you?
It's easy.
Have you been in some scenarios where like, yo, this is a bit much for me?
No.
No?
No, I've been in... No, I haven't.
Okay, fair enough. And you kind of travel the world together, like, yeah? And then kind of, how kind of important is it to have the right team members around you, do you know what I mean?
100%. I mean, I say to the team at the time, everyone's replaceable but me. But you need to have the right people around you. I need to be known when I'm, saying, doing the world record, it's being captured and the footage is being filmed well. Or I need to make sure my team's checking IDs and consent forms, and it's I can trust them to do that without thinking, fuck, what if I, sit with someone underage?
And how much are you making a month now?
I'm hitting the 2 mil mark.
Okay, you don't have to, but
Yeah.
people have sat here and shown me the proof, because some people, OF girls, have told me it's a lie, and OnlyFans lie. It's not for the camera, it's totally optional, but just as an impartial, if you would like to just, it's up to you, do you know what I mean? But
That I will show you right now.
people have said that.
Can
The
you grab
most
up?
I've seen is 200 grand a month.
Okay.
That's the record
So
I've
I've
seen.
got 3 OnlyFans pages,
Okay,
and I'll show you all 3.
Why do you have 3?
Just different. It's all the same videos, but it's just different. On my VIP page, I'm a lot more available on there. I do a lot more custom videos.
Is that more then? Are they price points?
Yeah, they're all, like, I've got a free page, obviously free, and then I've got 2 more paid pages.
Okay, so why?
So this is one of the pages.
Okay.
Can I slide across? Which way?
There's only one.
Am I allowed to say that other one?
Which one?
The biggest one. Am I allowed to say that
So
number?
this is just what I haven't taken out yet. I just haven't got around to it.
Okay. Can I be devil's advocate here?
Yeah.
That is a screenshot. Some people have shown me their app.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Dashboard.
This is what I
I'm
sent.
just trying to eliminate any bullshit.
Okay, wait, no, this will
Do
show.
you get me? And I'm not saying
log in.
I'm not
Wait,
saying,
yeah.
if you could. It's up to you. You don't have to. You
Well,
can
log
take the fuck
in.
off.
Look, I sent this. Graham's my accountant.
Graham, big up Graham, making that percentage.
But what I mean is, I have to send my, obviously, earnings to my accountant.
I get that, and I'm not trying to. Do you get what I mean?
We'll get
because
my...
you're here, and people have said, "Here's my dashboard. Here's my monthlies.
Oh, yeah.
Have a look." And it's only because OF girls have come here and said they're lying or people are lying. So,
I know. I'm glad you do that, because the amount of... I don't get bothered. I'm not bothered now because I earn that much. Couldn't care when people lie. When I was really trying, like before, when I wasn't earning as much, I can remember I sat and did an interview with a girl. It was like a podcast, and I was like, I'm so proud of myself. I've just earned 40,000 this month, and I'm so happy. She responded, yeah, I earned 40,000 in the last 24 hours. And I thought,
right.
No, you haven't. You've just made that. You've literally just heard me say 40, and you've just decided to make that number up.
That's why I'm just curious. Do you know what I mean? All right, so we're gonna pull up the figures, yeah? Just talk me through this tier system. So one's free.
Yeah.
Why is one free?
Because not everyone wants to put their bank details in. Paying for anything is a big commitment, and some people just want to subscribe just to see what content's there. They're just curious, and they don't really want the commitment of paying a subscription.
So you're kind of dangling the carrot, like this is.
I mean, everything's on there. You don't have to subscribe. By the time you paid your Netflix and everything else, not everyone wants to add a subscription to OnlyFans.
So then I guess, why do people pay then, I guess, is my next question. Do you know what I mean?
Because the content, if you enjoy my videos, you might as well go to the VIP page, because everything is discounted and cheaper. So
It's not cheaper than free, is it?
No, but every video you purchase is at a much higher price.
Right, and then there's a middle tier?
Yeah.
And that's just cheaper?
Cheaper, bundles.
And then do you talk to the people? Like, do you like one-to-one? And then how much is that? And because some people told me like dollars per minute or something.
So, no, it's more if they want videos as and when I'm chatting to them.
Oh, custom. See, look, I know the words now.
Customs,
It just come to me.
I'll get your custom to you later.
No. Right, so customs. How much are customs?
It really depends. Like, it really can vary, but I'd say anything from like 600 to 1,000 per minute.
600,000 per minute.
Yeah.
And do you have a minimum of minutes?
No. Some of them can just be a minute. A lot of people pay extra a lot of the time. Like, they'll just send money, they tip me a lot, they'll pay like 5,000-6,000.
They'll just pay you 5,000-6,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the most you've got in one lump sum?
It's hard to say because obviously it's done over. In OnlyFans, you can't tip massive tips. You have to break it down.
Oh, really? Okay.
But I'd say I've had a subscriber this month that's already spent over 40,000.
40,000.
Yeah.
And do you speak to this person?
Yeah.
Like face to face?
Not face to face, no.
Okay.
Just through videos. We will sext a lot, and it's like a normal relationship.
It's not normal. Let's
very
just go
normal.
there. Okay, how is that normal? They're not giving you 40 grand.
Yeah, chatting to someone online, they like your videos, they want to treat you.
And just to be clear, would you ever meet anyone online?
You can't on OnlyFans. Like, so
But
yes,
no one would ever know.
Well, they would because OnlyFans would ban your account. If somebody messaged you on OnlyFans and was like, hey, I want to meet you, it can flag your account.
I feel like you're unbannable on OnlyFans. It's like they need you right now. Do you know what I mean?
You think so, but they also have over 2 million content creators.
Yeah.
So even though I earn a lot of money,
Yeah.
they also have a lot of content creators.
Right. And then just kind of keeping the language, if we can.
Yeah.
Well, we're banned already now, fuck it. But no, but sure. Like, what are the type of customs that you get? Are there some very strange ones?
Oh, I'll tell you one actually. A guy wanted me to shit in a condom and then freeze the condom and then use
Cryogenics?
the frozen shit as a dildo.
And you did that?
No.
Okay. Oh, okay. So then, is there a limit? Oh yeah. Go on.
Yeah.
So then, where's your
I
limit?
told you to stop asking me for them videos.
No, listen. So where's your limit then, as well?
I mean, I don't know putting shit in my pussy.
Right.
Basically anything that's allowed on OnlyFans, I'll know enough to.
I don't know what's allowed and not.
So you can't do like blood play, you can't do fisting, you can't be playing with shit,
Okay.
animals.
Okay. Do you think you're in a position to start your own OnlyFans and just not give them the 20%? Because you could, in theory. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
I
can just build
definitely
an
could
app
set
tomorrow.
something up.
You can just build an app tomorrow, because I'm one of the founders now. You get me?
Okay.
Instead of paying them 10%, you give me little 8%.
Yeah.
You give Josh, I'm 5. Everyone's cool. But you could, in theory, do that.
Yeah.
Has that ever crossed your mind?
I definitely think in the future, I won't be setting up my own OnlyFans, but I definitely think in the future I'll be open to sort of doing some sort of platform.
And then weirdest customs. So that's one of the weirdest customs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they offer you money for it, and you're like, hell no.
I'm just like, look, I can't do that.
Fucking hell, mate. Are there ones that are like a bit silly? Like, I think people told me that they're like, be tired, and they're just paying you money. Like, it's not sexual. It's
Yeah,
just,
like I had to shout King Kong the other day, and I got paid about 6,000 for that.
just shout King Kong.
King Kong in a video.
Not bang the chest.
No,
Nothing.
King Kong.
No.
And then I had this one guy, but like I said, I talk about it, but I don't actually judge him. He wanted me to eat pizza naked whilst I fingered myself and said, oh, you're such a naughty boy. If you was my boyfriend, I'd let you eat pizza every day.
That's it.
Yeah.
How much pay you?
I can't quite remember. I did that one a few months ago. Maybe like 2, 3, 4,000.
2 points. The King Kong one, just put a pin in that. Can you appreciate that when people hear this, they think it's some sort of cheat code to life? Do you know what I mean?
I don't get you actually.
In regards to money, it's like how can you earn such an astronomical amount for doing something so...
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
My dad always says the same. Like, obviously, I don't tell him about the other stuff I do, but I'm like, hey, Dad, this guy's just paid me X amount of money to shout King Kong on a video. And he's like, that's crazy. That is insane. Because it's a lot of money. And these people are doing very well-respected, high-paid jobs to be able to afford to ask me to shout King Kong in a video.
Is your sister on OnlyFans?
No.
Okay. Would you let her go on it?
If she wanted to, of course I would. But I wouldn't advise it for her, no.
Would you advise it for anybody?
Yeah. The only reason I wouldn't advise my sister is she's a lot more sensitive than me.
Right.
If somebody gave her hate, she would find it a lot harder to process. So for that reason,
Yeah.
I don't think it'd be suitable for her.
And then the kind of hate you get, do you see that a lot, or are you oblivious to it? How have you developed that thick skin?
I definitely see it, but I have never been affected. I don't think I've ever shed a tear over a single hate comment I've got. I've been frustrated. I remember seeing a TikTok about my granddad, and they said, oh, this is Tia's dad that sexually assaulted her as a kid. I'm like, it's a photo of my granddad, and no, he never sexually assaulted me. So I get frustrated for sure. But as a whole, my TikTok is a whole separate account. I don't follow any Bonnie Blue stuff. I follow just all these fat people that like to eat food. And I'm like, that's what I'll enjoy and scroll on. Like, I'm not on the whole sex worker side of TikTok.
And then kind of memes, like I see memes and you're kind of part of it, or you're the butt of the joke.
I've seen the, like, what would you prefer to queue for? Like 100 gorillas
I was going there. I was just going. When you said King Kong, put a pin in it.
Yeah.
I didn't want to offend you too much. But I saw a meme that said,
what would you go for? The
100
gorilla
gorillas, would you go first with the 100 to fight the gorilla, or would you go last against Bonnie Blue in the queue?
What are you doing?
Oh, don't allow me. Listen, I plead the fifth. I'm Switzerland. You know what I mean? But when you see stuff like that, do you just laugh it off, or?
Oh, yeah, I find it genuinely, I've got such thick skin and I'm not bothered. Like, I see these disgusting women make hate comments and videos about me all the time. They're sat there living, and I don't care where people live, but they're sat there living in a shithole. They've got the kids screaming in the background. Their teeth look like they could do with bleaching. And I'm like, and you think I'm bothered about your comment? Like, I am so content and happy with my life. As much as people think I should be scarred and unhappy, I'm happy and that's what matters. And I would never take time out of my day to make a video on somebody else.
So what are the type of things that you've bought with your money? The Ferrari is one of them. We're going to talk about
Ferrari,
that.
it's quite inconvenient, that is. It doesn't even fit through McDonald's drive-through.
So why'd you buy it?
It just looks good and...
So are you at that thing now? You can just buy things, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a bona fide millionaire. It's like...
It's, to be fair, apart from the Ferrari, and I've probably dropped about £1 million on clothes.
Okay. What type of brands are you into? You dress quite chic, quite classy. You got the classy thing going on.
Are you calling me Bonnie Blue classy?
No, you come in across with the... no, listen. Do you know what I mean? You speak with elegance.
You are going to be cancelled now.
No, but hold on. Let me just say what I see. Do you know what I mean? You have come across with...
I'm not wearing low-cut tops, I've not really got boobs. I can't have
but
boobs
it's like
anyway, but I've not...
Smart.
When you think of OnlyFans...
Bossy, like business.
Yeah, I mean, OnlyFans is a business, and if more sluts understood that, they'd probably earn more money. But yeah, with my money, it's just clothes. I order about 5 meals from Uber Eats and touch about one of them. Apart from that, there's nothing crazy I've spent with my money. I save a lot of it.
Does money buy happiness?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go to a poor country and ask them if they're happy.
You'd be surprised, you know, but all right, I do hear you. I
think I'd be getting a headache if I was carrying water on my head.
And then if there was no money involved in this, you wouldn't be doing it. Be honest.
It's hard
do you
to
know
say.
what it is? I want the Tia answer. I don't want the Bonnie Blue answer, because I do feel like you're very, very clever. Yeah, and I'm just be honest, and I get that, and you've got an amazing business. I won't say head on you, right? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, and I get it, yeah. But it's like, I do feel like perhaps you may be giving me Bonnie Blue answers.
No, it's hard to say, because it used to be Bonnie and Tia was so different. Bonnie was an act, Tia was who I was.
Now they've merged.
Now they're so merged where...
You don't know who's who?
Even if I didn't get paid for 1,000, I enjoyed testing my body. It was like an Olympic person testing how fast they can run.
Sure.
I wanted to see what I could handle, and it was people like bird watching. I think that's fucking boring. I'd prefer to shoot them. I think for me, my hobby was doing stuff like that. So yes, there has to be some money involved. I couldn't even afford to host these events. When I host these events, it's expensive. The security, the staff, the building it's in.
But now you've got all the money.
Yeah.
You're a millionaire. Is it about the money?
Not now, because if I wanted to stop now, I've got more money to retire me, my family, and I could live very comfortable.
Yes, but on that basis, then you could actually do it and not put it on OnlyFans, and then not make money from it, and be like, here you go. If you really just enjoyed that, do you get what I'm saying? So yeah,
it's hard to say, because I do it for money, but also there's a massive aspect that there isn't.
Shall we say 80% money, 20% pleasure? Is that a
I don't know. Well, for example,
percentage?
there's an event I'm doing in June.
Right.
And I'm offering the public to come and fuck me.
Right.
A lot of that is not even being filmed. Well, it'll be filmed, it won't be posted. It'll be filmed because I'll enjoy watching the content and I get pleasure from that. Will I be selling some of that on OnlyFans? No.
Okay. Why are you doing that? You just for your own satisfaction.
I want
you
to.
have previous videos, surely you've got thousands of them.
Yeah.
So what is it about this new video that's going to give you the pleasure when you can effectively got an archive stored away? I'm still waiting for the dashboard, you know. Do not swerve it, brother. You get me? But I'm a bit confused. I gotta be honest, I'm a bit confused why you can't just pull the app up and say load.
Why can't you?
So I don't know what all this laptop's going on. Hey, Josh, I'm keeping it 100%. If on your phone, can you not just load the app and go boom? I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm Switzerland. Anyway, so you're filming this thing, but you're not going to put it out there. But you've got an archive of videos that effectively, if that was what you wanted the pleasure at, then...
I've got so many backed up videos that I've still not posted yet, not got around to.
Yeah.
If I wanted to take 6 months off now, I could take a year off. I've got that much
take your whole
content.
lifetime off.
But I don't want to, like, I'm wanting to do this. Like, you don't ever see me upset or thinking, fuck, this is getting too much for me. I'm always smiling, I'm happy, and I enjoy the videos I create.
Do you think there will become a time where you just won't enjoy it anymore? Do you think
There'll probably be a time where I'm like, you know what, the events aren't for me anymore. This is getting too much for my body. I don't want to do it anymore. It might be a time that I want to take a step back, or I want to take a break for a year and then come back to making content.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I've sort of said, like, I want to make 5 million a month by the end of the year.
Okay.
If that gets to the point where I'm like, this is too much on my body, or I'm not enjoying it now, like, I don't need 5 million.
How much tax do you pay?
A lot.
Curious. Yeah, what is the tax like? Millions?
Yeah.
Let's just chill with the questions now. On the money.
Okay.
Why?
Just prefer it, please.
Okay. But FYI, cool. No more money questions. We've hit a nerve. All right, fair enough. Could you not move to a country that doesn't charge you that much tax? Last money question. That's not
Yeah,
right.
definitely. But at the moment, a lot of my work's in London, so
Yeah.
it makes sense for me to be here.
Yeah. So you've broken the record. So then what's next then?
I'm doing Bonnie Blue's petting zoo in June.
What's a petting zoo? Do I even want to know?
Yeah, I mean, you can come and watch.
I'm good.
I am going to be tied up in a glass box. The public can come and fuck me and use me in multiple ways.
Come like David Blaine. What do you mean in a glass box?
I want to be, it's like a zoo. I want people to be able to come and touch me, spit on me,
What,
pull my hair.
in a box?
So it's going to be in a
Perspex box.
In a house, and then within the house is going to be a glass box.
And how big's the box? Is this like you?
Like 8 foot.
Have you seen you on Netflix?
Yeah, very much like that.
Oh, it's you in Netflix.
I love you.
Okay, yeah. I need to watch it. Okay, so a big Perspex box.
Yeah, this box is going to be filled with random strangers fucking me.
Okay, but why the box? You could just do it in a room. It just adds another element to it.
Because there's going to be some people that just want to stand back and watch. I want it to be like a zoo. I want it to be different. It's like a piece of art.
Okay, and is it free for people to come in?
Yeah, of course it's free.
Okay, where do you get these ideas from? Are you forever thinking of ideas? Have you got?
Oh my God, yeah, I'll see things in the street. I'll see things on movies, and I'm like, wow, I want to recreate that, but by being ploughed through. Like,
have you got 3, 4, 5 more ideas ahead? Like, are you kind of months ahead?
Yeah, I have got near enough my year planned out.
Okay, can we know about what's after that, or we just sticking to you box?
I keep things like month by month. I don't want to rinse it. If I told you, for example, I'm doing a very big freshers event in September. If I was to sit and talk about this for the next 4 or 5 months, it becomes boring. I want to keep it fresh. The next thing is the glass box.
And then is there an end goal money-wise? Have you got a target in your head? Like, when I hit that, I'm kind of...
Not really, because I never expected to be earning what I earn now. Like, it really...
You know, like some people have a like exit strategy. Like, when I got this, I can...
Because I get a lot of pleasure and fun from this now. Before, it was like, if you'd have said to me, oh, you're going to earn however much a month, I'd have been like, perfect. As soon as I hit that, I'm out. Because this has become my life now. There's no certain amount of number where I'm like, once I hit that, I'm out.
And then when you're kind of doing these encounters, it's like, this is for work.
Yeah.
When you are in a relationship with someone or anything, how would you draw that line between like work and intimacy? Do you know what I mean? Or is it all one?
I think it's different. Like if I'm to have sex off camera, it's a lot more intimate. There's no cameras. It's more personal.
Do you have intimate like?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have sex off camera. It's different. It's more of like a relationship style sex as opposed to, you know, hey, bring your friends and family members.
Is that just a psychological difference then, as opposed to just? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say it's different.
And then dating and all of that, how is that for you? Is that something you're open to do, or?
Yeah, I don't want to date at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to date, and it's not a priority for me at the moment. My work is my life, and I enjoy it, and I've done the long-term relationship, and I've realised that doesn't necessarily bring you happiness. And at the moment, I'm just so passionate about what I'm doing work-wise.
Some people have sat here and said that they would probably end up only dating in the industry because that's where they feel like there's only going to be accepted. I don't know, what's your stance on that? Do you feel like you're still open to meeting people, or do you feel like you've done
100%.
so much now, you've kind of written that side off?
Yeah, there's loads of subscribers I've met, or people that are in my queue that I've gone and had drinks with, I've gone on dates with, I've had sex with off camera. So, and they're lovely people. So who knows, I'll probably meet my next husband in my next queue.
Fair enough. And then, what else am I saying to you? My mind's gone blank, Oh, the questions. Right, I've got this thing. Oh, no, hold on, children.
Children,
We got to talk about that. Can you ever foresee that? Is it something that is even on your mind? Have you?
Yeah, not anytime soon.
Yeah.
I used to think, I want kids really young, and I think that was because I felt a bit just stuck in life and was like, okay, well, what's next? I've got a husband, I've got a house. Clearly, it's to have children.
Yeah.
And now that I'm out of that sort of very close-minded opinion, I want children, but when I'm ready, when I'm not focused on myself, when I'm not in my selfish era, when I'm ready to give my life up to my children.
And then if your children wanted to do OnlyFans, you probably answered this a million times, but I've got to ask, what would you do?
No issue. I'd be supportive. As long as they understand the hate, the backlash, and how your life is going to change, then I'm more than supportive.
But I suppose part of me thinks you're making millions so that your kids don't have to do it. Do you know what I mean?
I would have so many investments and stuff.
So would you not want to be like, you don't need to do this?
Of course, but I don't need to do it, and I still want to do it. So if they wanted to do that, then that's fine, but they will have multiple other options as well.
Okay, fair enough. I do this thing where we ask AI to ask you some questions.
Oh, okay.
So this is all AI generated, nothing to do with me. So I'm just curious, you probably answered most of them already, but let's see where we get to. And if certain questions that I know I'm not supposed to talk about pop up, I will not bring them up. You claim to have slept with 1,057 men in a day. What do you say to people who call that legalized abuse or mass exploitation?
Don't be such a wet wipe and go and do something you enjoy.
Okay. Do you think you're empowering women or just reinforcing what men want women to be?
I'm definitely empowering for women.
Yeah. In what way?
I'm showing you can be independent, you can do what you want. If you want to be sexualized, you can put yourself out there. If you want to be proud and, proud of your body and proud of sex, you can speak freely about it.
Okay, look, you've answered this one. Would you let your own daughter, if you had one, follow in your footsteps? You've answered that. At what point does sexual liberation become a mental health concern?
When you're struggling to handle it, when you're not ready, and when your heart's not in it.
Is there anything you wouldn't do for views or money, or is everything fair game now?
As long as it's legal and the people I'm working with are consenting, I'm up for anything.
Some people say you're ruining an entire generation of young men. What do you say to them?
I'm just draining their balls, not ruining them.
Okay. You've mentioned your father being present during extreme scenes. How do you justify this morally? Is this true?
That's lies. The press just made it up.
Oh, speaking of that, I did see some father and son thing.
I fucked father and son together, but my dad has never been present.
Okay. Can you not see the moral ethics in that, perhaps?
I thought that was amazing. They've got such a good connection, relationship. They're speaking. Most 18-year-olds are like, fuck you, dad, I don't want to speak to you. And they don't have a good relationship. Whether you agree or not, they've got such an open relationship. They're communicating with one another. And I think that's so much better than having a hateful relationship.
Is there not an ounce of weirdness in that? Come on. No,
I generally don't think it is. I'm like, go on. If you want to, use a girl together, then
Cameraman, do you not think that's an ounce a bit of weird when you're there? Come on. No. I know you got to give me the politician's answer, but come on. Is there not a bit of you that thinks, hold on, what's going on here?
No, because it's like a bonding experience.
Spoken like a true professional from Bonnie Blue's team. Fair enough. Has there ever been a time when you felt genuinely exploited or regretted a decision publicly?
No.
No. Do you think OnlyFans is creating a generation of socially stunted, intimacy-starved men?
No, definitely not.
No. Would you ever do porn with a political message, or should you believe sex work should be apolitical?
I'd fuck a politician.
How do you see the world? Like, do you have views that you can put out, or do you just stay away from?
I've definitely got views. I think the UK is pretty fucked right now, but
yeah. In what way? Every way?
A lot of ways, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mainly stay out of it.
You don't want to talk about whites.
I think we've definitely got too many people here, for sure.
Yeah. Is this the place to live if you had all the money in the world, which you seem to have? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know, because I used to be desperate to get out of here, but now that I've got more money, I can afford more holidays, so I don't mind being based here.
Right.
But if you was just to live in the UK, not going on the holidays, there's something wrong with you. You need to be escaping it from from time
do you
to
know
time.
what? I hear that from a lot of people. I don't know what's going on. It's just not the place to be.
No.
Do you feel you're part of a bigger cultural collapse, or are you just ahead of the curve?
Oh, I'm definitely ahead of the curve.
Have you ever been paid to sleep with someone off camera? What's the price?
Yeah, I used to be an escort. It was $1,000 an hour.
Oh, swear. We missed that chapter. Do you know what I mean? You're banned from Australia and Fiji. Fiji? Are you banned from Fiji?
Yeah, I
what
got
did you
deported.
do? Same thing.
So when I got banned from Australia for wanting to sleep with schoolies, half of them go to Fiji. So I was like, okay, fuck you, mums. I'm going to go and sleep with them in Fiji. I went to Fiji. 24 hours later, the police were after me, so I had to leave.
Are you ever worried about being arrested?
I was definitely nervous that day because Fiji is a third world country. I had no idea what was to happen if I was to be arrested. So I was writing down like British Embassy number down. I was writing down my lawyer.
On your hand, British
I'm
Embassy.
sweating and it is coming off and I'm like, fuck, I don't know what's going to happen if I get arrested.
Right.
The taxi driver on the way was trying to pull me over for a blowjob on the way and I was like, please just get me to the airport. So yeah, it was definitely concerning, but...
Are you worried that you're so close to the line that you might one day cross it without even knowing?
No, because I'm very strict. There's breathalyzers, there's IDs, which you have to go into a scanner. Like, I'm so careful.
Okay, so that people can't do the fake ID thing?
Yeah, you can't do fake ID.
Okay, fair enough. Have you ever faked an orgasm for content, and do your fans even care? I think you've answered that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you ever make content involving religious symbols or settings for shock value?
I used the Bible to protect my
Okay.
knees the other day.
Okay. Do you not think that's crossing a severe line?
No, I was recycling. It was just on the shelf collecting dust.
And then where are you with God?
I don't believe in God.
At all?
No.
Have you ever believed in God?
No.
No?
No.
What about your family, your parents, or?
My grandma was a little bit, never heavily religious, but then the amount of shit that happens in life, she was like, if there was a God, half of this would not happen.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. What's the darkest request you've ever accepted?
Actually accepted.
Just keeping the tone down a bit, please.
Yeah, I
Channel's
don't know.
already
Like,
gone.
they're not dark. So I wouldn't say anything that crazy.
Crazy in your eyes, no, but in us, we're fucking doolally, mate. All right, fair enough. Is there any truth to the rumour you've influenced minors with your content marketing?
I mean, they're 18, they're not minors.
What would it take for you to quit the industry? Love, shame, or legal pressure? Ooh,
None, because where would I get legal pressure from? Money, I've already got money and I still want to do it. And what was the other point?
love.
No, because whoever loves me will accept what I do.
So if you did fall in love with someone, they said, listen, you made millions now, let's sail off into the sunset, let's go.
If it was when I was ready to stop, then yeah, in the future, if it was, okay, I've done this for a long amount of time now, I'm sort of thinking about stopping, then yeah, possibly, but...
It's a timing issue.
Yeah.
Timing of where are you in life. Do you think you'll be remembered as a trailblazer or as a cultural cautionary tale? Good question.
I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah. And then I think there's just, here we go. You've let thousands of men inside you, but actually who's gotten you emotionally? Jesus. Who's good?
Yeah, a good amount of people. Like, a lot of the people I really do connect with, especially the ones I get to know. So hard to put a number on it, but a decent amount.
You ever fallen in love again since your husband?
Not since my husband, no, it's still very fresh.
It's 10 years, isn't it?
Yeah, but since then, like I'll be going through like an official divorce soon.
Have you got your barriers straight up force-filled?
No,
because
it wasn't.
That's a natural thing, right, for humans?
It wasn't a bad breakup. That we've been split up now for over a year, so.
And the divorce, is that messy because you're now a millionaire? And now all of the women in the world's history, this is our get back at you, you get me?
Yeah.
It's your time, the tables have turned.
No, it's not messy. Both of us have got an agreement and we'll stick to it.
You got, yeah. But is he rich now?
He's rich.
Well, fair enough, I respect it. What would you say to a 17-year-old girl who thinks sex work in her is her fast track to success? Go for it or run?
If they're the two options, go for it.
And then where kind of are you with that morally? Like, you are this younger generation, you're showing them to come step this way. Do you know what I mean?
I'm definitely not speaking to any 17-year-olds saying, hey, do this.
Yeah, I know, but your influence online is so massive. Do you know what I mean? Naturally, it's going to boil down to the point where, I'm not going to lie, I've had people stop me because I've interviewed OF people and say, you're that guy that's interviewed so-and-so. And I'm like, yeah. And they're so intrigued. What was it like? What was it like? So that is the influence that you've got.
Yeah.
Like,
I definitely wouldn't be against people doing it. I think everyone should have their options. They should know, okay, you could go to uni for 4 years and still be on, you know, a minimum wage job. You could do OnlyFans, you could earn less than minimum wage, but you could also earn a lot of money. I think people should just understand their options with like any job.
And I think it's also good to highlight the fact that if you go on OnlyFans, it's not a given, innit? I think a lot of people think,
my God, people
but that's
are
what
so
I mean.
lazy.
They really think, oh, they could just make thousands. Feet pick. Like,
Yeah, a fact recently, and it said like on average, the average person on OnlyFans earns less than minimum wage.
right.
You obviously only hear about the stories that people do really successful. You don't ever hear the people step forward going, you know what, I only learned £5 this month.
Correct.
They're keeping it a secret.
But I think it's important to be highlight that as well, because they do seem to
But
think
if people go on to OnlyFans thinking straight away, I'm going to earn loads of money, you're going to fail. You should never, ever, unless you've won the lottery, never expect just to be given money. You should never think, I'm just going to earn money from this simple thing. Like, you have to work for it.
And it's not simple. There is a psychological thing involved, right? You've got to be a certain psychologically way.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? You can't just... Do you think you've moulded into that psychological thing, or do you think you were just born naturally to be that way? Do you know what I mean?
I've always been born, and I've not been overly sensitive about people's opinions and comments.
Yeah.
I've definitely got so much better with it, with this job.
Yeah. And then the psychological switch I'm trying to get at is when you're doing the act, do you think you just... I don't know, you've moulded into it, or you just naturally was like that to able to psychologically do that?
I'd say naturally, because I never switch off. I don't ever think I can't process what I'm doing right now. I just think it's all okay.
Yeah, fair enough. Have you ever pretended you was enjoying something while you were mentally disassociating?
No, never mentally. I've never had to dissociate.
I mean, I would have thought after 10 hours you're thinking, hold on, you can't still be present in the moment.
See,
you're not Albert Einstein with the mindset.
This is the thing.
You get me? Be
People
honest.
will sit there, and especially like yourself, you'll sit there and comment and go, oh, you wasn't focusing on it. I bet you was mentally not there. If I say
I'm generalising, of course. But
of course you are, but if I say sit and watch the video and you can see how much I'm smiling, laughing, I'm talking to everyone, and even when you see that, if I was to show you that and I was to show anyone who questions me, they'll go, oh, but that isn't how you felt. Or they say to me, oh, I bet you was crying afterwards, or I bet you was, so switched off. Even when I show people evidence of me laughing, smiling, happy, you're still thinking, oh, there's something else going off. So I sort of get bored answering the, I'm fine and I do this because I enjoy it and I'm happy, because no matter what I do, it's, oh, I'm lying.
Yeah.
I'm telling false information.
And then kind of therapy. What do you think of therapy? Do you think it's for you? Do you think you would ever need it? I might as well add that in.
I mean, I've never had therapy, so I can't comment on if it's good. I've had friends that have had therapy and they think it's brilliant. If I had time, I'd probably consider it, because there's no reason why you can't ever have more help in life and learn new things, whether it's to deal with a divorce or deal with work things and stress in general.
Yeah.
But I don't think I need therapy purely because, I fucked 1,000 people.
Fair enough.
Because our driver's getting impatient.
Okay, that's fine.
How much longer is that?
5 minutes?
5 minutes. That's fine.
Be honest. Okay, we'll leave that one. Okay, we'll leave that one. Do you think your fans would still love you if you gained 100 pounds and stopped shaving?
I definitely would lose some, because people like me for the way I look.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, but I think I do have a lot of subscribers as well that are so brought into me that no matter if I change or if I did content when I'm pregnant, I think they'd still follow me.
You've monetized everything from your mouth to your morals. Is there a price tag on your dignity?
No, I mean, people think I've already lost my dignity.
What do you think?
I've still got my dignity and my morals very much intact.
Yeah, that's interesting, because we have some people say they had no dignity and they openly admitted that they had no dignity.
See, I see it as I've got more respect for myself now that I do this, because I've given myself flexibility and freedom in life. Before, when I worked recruitment, I just was told what I had to do. I was told these are your KPIs. I just accepted that. I didn't have enough respect for myself to give me the life I deserve.
That correlates to money though, doesn't it? You're now free.
Freedom and flexibility, it does. It's from money.
Do you think money is the biggest evil in this world?
No, it's definitely not evil, no.
Like if it didn't exist, do you know what I mean? The concept of money. I always think like that. Like,
yeah, definitely. If no one had money and you'd
like
live a lot more freely, you didn't have internet. You could sit there and say, oh, what if we didn't have this? What if we didn't have
I'm
that?
just curious. I do think money is evil though, like the way it's been implemented, do you know what I mean? And the way it divides people. Like if it just didn't...
Especially if you think of healthcare, like how shit the NHS is.
Yeah.
Money is terrible in that way, because the people that have got money,
they're
going to skip the NHS queue.
We're almost there. Apologies. What's more humiliating, doing porn or being broke and invisible? What? Don't want.
Yeah.
You're the fantasy for men who don't respect women. How does that sit with you? Do
What,
you think?
sorry?
You're a fantasy for men who don't respect women. Do you think that's true?
No, people are always respectful to me. Obviously, there's some men where I'm like, you know what, use me, I'm your slut. You know, for some men, they're like, okay, yeah, we can just respect women, that's fine, because she said it's okay.
Right.
Even though I discussed that's what I'm consenting to, your wife might not. But no, the men respect me.
Do you think deep down those are the ones that don't respect women? Because
No, they definitely respect women. They even respect me a lot.
Okay, cool. Last question. Do you ever fear dying young, unloved and misunderstood, or is the legacy overrated in a world chasing views?
I don't know. I just don't think you should care. As long as you're happy, it doesn't matter what people think. When you're dead, you're dead.
Fair enough. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Miss Blue?
That's it.
Yeah, I'd like to say thank you for your time.
Thank you.
It's been a bit up and down, but we got there in the end. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Be safe, please.
Thank you.
I'm not going to sit here and preach, don't do it, because you're going to carry on doing it.
I will do it anyway.
And yeah, be safe and healthy.
Thank you.
We out. Peace.